I'm starting to get a bit
start
wound
in
up
10.
that everyone's saying the OP Lexus.
Come on, let's have a look.
If it's that OP, then LFM.
Why hasn't everybody used it?
And yeah, everyone did use it in LFM.
I swear Ripper said that it wasn't even got -40 on most of it. Or they didn't rate it or whatever.
They didn't bop it apparently on LFM. But yeah, that's funny because the bot is based off of LFM. Let's go, Darren. Let's go.
All it needs is more people who run LFM stuff to run that, and I guarantee it'll fucking get bombed.
If people who did LFM just did every car,
yeah,
then you can't moan then, can they?
Everybody hear me yet?
No.
Thank you.
Unfortunately.
I hope you drop it at turn 4.
And where?
Turn 4.
Turn 4, at the Mike Matthews corner.
Get the turn right, Matt. Fucking hell.
Turn 4, the Mike Matthews corner.
Arjun hit it last night.
I think a few dropped it there, to be fair. It can be a twat of a corner if you get too wide.
Don't go too wide then.
Can hardly hear you now, Matt.
Because I'm not looking at my microphone a minute.
Alright.
Right, need to load Streamlabs up.
Fuck.
Yes, I have. Yes.
Have you stolen his crisps?
I've just had a couple. You've got another pack there.
He's literally got like 2 crisps in it,
Okay.
Matthew. That's literally all he's got for his dinner.
Yeah.
He's a small boy and you're stealing his food.
I had a handful of crisps. I've only had a chicken burger today.
And his packet of things is what?
I've only had a chicken burger today.
I've only had a burger too.
Go live.
Should we go upstairs with it? Come on then. You're not bad. We're going to go put something on upstairs on the telly. Yeah, it's okay. Come on, sit upstairs. We're going to have a nice snack.
So all I've just got to do is add the reverse grid order, properties browse, download.
Bye.
I was hoping that you went wide and not come back in.
Right. Have a good race.
Cheers.
Thanks.
See you later.
Yeah, cheers, Matt.
Philip.
Matthew.
Petey.
Duffin. Right, let's just leave my light. Ready? There we go. Done.
Just there.
There's some Xbox users having trouble getting in, but others aren't, right?
It was only O'Reilly and Beasley.
And O'Reilly's in.
Yeah. But Beasley said it was something to do with not logging him in.
Has his account been hacked and someone changed his password? That's why I use passkeys now.
Gary and Overtaker can count themselves lucky.
What, because they haven't... I just noticed that through the entry they haven't confirmed or declined.
Yo, babe? I think it's down my side of the bed. Yeah, they didn't confirm or decline. And Mike was like, oh, Overtaker's alright, is it back to the grid? And it's like, no.
No.
If
Because
one,
now
if one
they've got to
can't, the
think
other
they
can't.
get away with it.
Oh no, I've messaged them. I've been told that next time they're not on the grid, they will not be...
Next time you don't confirm or
yeah,
decline,
they will not be
you're
on.
not playing.
They'll not be on the grid. Dan agrees. So...
Because they make a mockery of having a sign up then, doesn't
yeah,
it?
it's in the rules. If you miss it, you miss it. So... They've both been told.
Oh, there's Cosme. Cosme's in.
Yeah, Gary's in as well, as is Machado.
Manufacturers have catched Janetta. Oh
No,
no!
I've got that wrong. I've got that wrong.
What's that?
It's taking it off the tables, but as I read then order the tables of GT4, it's like, I think Janetta's taking my points. Yeah, I mean the Mercedes, 'cause the Janetta points would have been the top of the table at the time for that driver. So I think it's counting the points for who was in that position and not for who scored what.
So it's got to be recalculated.
So I've got to go through that, so I'm not going to read that one out tonight. I've got to read that one out tomorrow.
Well, Tuesday.
No, I'm going to recalculate it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I say read it out.
Got midnight night for a whole rest of per for any more Pro-Am tickets to go in. And...
I'm checking my device. Why is it not? You still downstairs? You still downstairs? Yeah, can you turn this light off as you come past? Oh, there we go. I want to approve that. For some reason it's asked me to approve this for the gas. Gas has been topped up, thank you. Right. Right, close Facebook. So it
You
doesn't
know
blink.
there's be someone moaning about Dan being fastest again.
Yep, Dan's getting sick on it and all.
Overtaking because it shows for Bentley.
Everybody, well, everybody could
It's
have
minus 17 here.
If people want to moan about the Lexus, simple answer: everybody could have picked the Lexus.
Yeah, you could have picked the Lexus as much as they did. For Bentley only loses 17 here.
Yeah, but regardless of the Bentley, fuck the Bentley. Bentley's not the argument, though, is it? If they're going to moan about one car, which being the Lexus,
Yeah.
right? Everybody
Okay,
drove the
then where's
McLaren for the
Harris?
last couple of the seasons. But if someone's going to moan because Dan's quick and driving the Lexus, I'm sorry, Overtaker, you had as much opportunity to drive the Lexus as Dan did. Fuck what the Bentley does. If they're moaning about one car, you know, Rob Smith could be rapid in that 488 Evo.
Yeah, because there's minus 40 on
He's not rapid. You know, the bop is to make the car that's outdated come back into play with all the newer cars. He's in the newest car. The bop is there to make all cars as equal as possible. What Danny's doing is Dan's ability, not the car.
Yeah.
That is
It's
Dan
Dan.
as a race driver.
Because where's
that's doing
Harris
that.
right now? In retirement.
Yeah, exactly. 20th. He's not set a time, but
It's not
you know.
a certain time, but...
No, I agree. What we're seeing, all these cars are brought together because of the bop. What you're seeing
Look at
is
that grid,
Dan.
what we got. Lexus, Aston Martin. We never had got an Aston that far up the grid, would we?
Mercedes 4th, Aston
But
as well
Merc-
5th.
Yeah. The Beamer, the Ferraris. Even Sky in 12th in the Porsche.
You know, Overtaker's probably in the newest car that should be then the more OP car. That's the problem. That's the problem. But, like, either way.
He's not going to complain it's dark as well.
Well, you can't complain it's dark. It's a fucking night race.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to go live in 5, 4. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport as we embark on the night race, this time for the pros, as we try to find a driver that is actually on the circuit. It is pro night, and what a night it's going to be in store for these drivers. We've got a plenty of action-packed drama and thrills and spills coming your way. Yeah, going to be a huge night of racing. 22, we are expecting 24 drivers. Richard Beasley is having problems getting in, and I don't know who the other driver is. Komsky's just come in as well. Eckhot's just come in as well. So it is just Richard Beasley, but he's having troubles logging into his PlayStation, his Xbox. So it might be where he's struggling. Obviously, we're back after the dramas of Tuesday night. We've not been able to race. We managed to get an absolutely cracking Pro-Am racing last night, and we're here tonight for the pros in the Kyle Army night race here in South Africa. Interesting championship, the way it goes at the moment, though. Overtaker leads by 3 points from Dan Davis. That's 106 to 103. And obviously, drop scores took effect as from this week. So, obviously, after the second race, your lowest score is dropped. You have a drop round. Max Mulder's P3 on 95. Harris is P4, tied on 95. O'Reilly's on 92. Diz is on 78. Cosme's on 72, Wittrup is P8 on 65, Giggle, not here tonight, is 9th on 61, Richard Beasley's on 57, Tim Ventink is on 57, Paolo's on 55, Tim Ventink and Paolo not here as well tonight, Ben is on 55, Cloudon's on 52, Machado's on 51, Mike Matthews is on 50 in 16th place, 17th is Darren Yo on 49, Gary Leach is 18th on 45, then it's Sky Shundlemeyer on 41, Daniel on 38, M. Wright on 36, Max Verkrashen not here, he's had wheel problems, he's on 33 points in 22nd place, 23rd is McGowan tied on 33, Pedro Viana, I think we've been calling him Paolo. Pedro Viana is 24th on 31 points. Skunky is 25th on 24 points. Blackmore on 23. Eckholt on 17. And Ledger on 9. Constructors' Championship is SimPlay Racing leading the way. 1 point clear of Team FBR and 1 point clear of BSP Esports in this championship so far. Fat Bloke Bandits are P4 on 130. They are 23 points behind. Dan Seb Racing on 103. They are 50 points behind. BSP Racing are on 96. Team SPR are on 94. Naval Racing Team on 82. And the Redline Junkies on 57. Good evening to Tips, Peaceful Stepdad, Chris R. and Rob Smith in the chat. And good evening to my co-commentator for this evening, Phil Raiden. Peony, how are we tonight? We're looking forward to this Kyle Army race.
Well, I love this place. Good evening, Matt. Well, yeah, there's a reason why I like Kyle Army. Back in Am, wouldn't there, Matt?
Can't really remember. You'll have to refresh my memory on that one. Are you being modest again like you was at Bathurst?
Yes. Well, I've got to milk it as much as I can because I'm not going to get another win, am I?
Never say never. You never know.
Well, yeah, I'm never going to get another win. Might get a pole in F2s if we run an F2 season.
We'll go to Suzuka, if that's any consolation.
I can't remember when the podiums were in F1, actually.
Wasn't Mexico.
No.
Kyle Army, though, Phil. Are we looking forward to this one?
Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting in the dark. I hope everyone's eating their carrots. I'm going to thank their mama for them. But I don't even like carrots, so I need night vision goggles. I think the ones in Jurassic Park. Yeah, they're the ones I want.
The racing last night, Phil, in Pro-Am was absolutely fantastic. Are we expecting more of that tonight?
Oh, I hope so. Well, we don't have as much drivers on the grid. Last night we had, what, 30?
30, yeah.
In race two, so which is a great turnout. Proven really, really popular GT3s. But
yeah, I think it's because obviously we had we changed, didn't we, the sort of format of the qualifying. 146 or quicker was the hot stint needed to get into Pro, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Which, I can't remember my whole stint time now. It's been a long time ago. But I'm deep in Pro-Am.
That obviously moved the goalpost, though, didn't it? And we've now got a bit more of a quality over quantity size grid here in the Pro field.
Yeah, well, we've got the likes of Dan, our reigning champion, O'Reilly, he's proven very handy in his Aston Martin. Got Skunky, who his first season with us was just GT4 last season, and obviously gutted to miss out on Tuesday because Xbox having its issues. just the Xbox side of ACC was having issues.
Yeah, it wasn't
Xbox
it wasn't the
itself.
whole of Xbox, was it? It was just the Kunos side of ACC that had the problems, didn't it?
Yeah, so something went wrong with the server. They might have applied a server-side update that didn't work properly for the Xbox users. Well, it worked for PC and PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly. But we're back here tonight. Obviously, it was great to come racing last night. Back here tonight for what is going to be some more thrilling action through this circuit here in South Africa. We currently have, I believe it's 23. No, we have 22. So one driver has gone missing. I believe that is Overtaker, because I can't see the Ford out on the grid.
No, he had a red bar.
He did have a bit of a connection problem. Not much time between first and 13th. Looking at FP1, says Chris in the chat. There really isn't. There's a second, 1.2 separated the top 15, if you want to look at it like that. So really not a lot of time between them at all. It's going to be a close, fascinating grid, that is for sure. And this is what's proven to have some good racing, isn't it, this year? Is that closeness of the field.
Oh, yeah. This is what we like, because we're touring car fans, and this is normal for us, having a grid this compact. It's like people who watch F1, where you got, 3 seconds or 4 seconds between the Sabre McLaren and the Williams at the back? Even though I think it's now the Sauber.
But this is the thing, isn't it? Is what we've seen now between obviously them gaps, like say coming from touring car background, the gaps are so close. What we're seeing here is similar things to that, and this is fantastic.
It is fantastic. It only takes one mistake from going, say, from P3 to P20. One mistake. That's all it takes.
And this is where it now becomes more about your racing, isn't it? Because the more mistakes that creep into your game now, the more you're going to lose out due to that pack being so tight. And one spin, one mistake from yourself will hurt you in the race.
Yeah, it cost you. It cost you a decent result. And then you get flustered, because we're all drivers. We get flustered. And then, because you're now rattled, you're going to make another mistake. And then another.
Yeah.
And
the
bonus sit down.
The bonus with Kyle Army being the night race, temperatures are cool. We're down to 17 degrees already. That might drop a little bit more going into the 1 a.m. race start here at Kyle Army. A practice is 11 p.m. Qualifying for the second part of the after the break will be at midnight, and then the races are both at 1 p.m. One on the Sunday, one on the Saturday, as I believe Overtaker has got back into the lobby, and his connection looks a lot better now, so possibly a reset of the Wi-Fi or whatever. His connection looks a lot more stable. This is going to be the interesting part, isn't it, is to see the temperatures drop, who's going to do what tyre-wise tonight, because if they have them spins and heat up them tyres, they are going to cool with them temperatures being, in that mid-teens area.
Well, it's normal British track temperature now for what we're all used to. So, but as they are ready up for the reverse grid race 1, but yeah, tyre change would be interesting, because last night it kind of worked, did it? Changing tyres.
Well, me and Dan were speaking about this on the air last night. Obviously, and the way it worked was that Mirko Ricci came out and I think had 12 seconds to
Richie Michelle,
had 12 seconds to John Gooday. All well and good. Richie Michelle was lapping by 2 seconds a lap quicker than John Gooday. Caught him, passed him. We saw it at Bathurst with Overtaker and Dan. The gap was closer to 20 seconds. Overtaker wasn't lapping 2 seconds quicker than Dan a lap. Didn't catch him. So it's all going to depend on that pit strategy, and I think that early stint based on qualifying. The track looks like if you lose your rhythm, there isn't much space to compose yourself before the next turn. And that's exactly what the track is. It's full of corners coming up. Your best breathing space is out of Ingwe at the top of the hill before you come down the mineshaft to the Crocodile, or down the start straight really into turn 1, isn't it? That's where you really need to sort of have that moment.
Well, yeah, and they're probably the best overtaking spots as well, because it's hard to overtake around Kyle Army, especially this version of Kyle Army. The 80s earlier version was pretty much a flat out all the way around.
Yeah.
So you can see why they changed it.
And the other thing as well about this track as well is, like you say, the overtaking opportunities at Ingwe, the Crocodile and turn 1. them corners kind of funnel in, don't they? They start wide and get tighter as they come into the corner. So it really does make overtaking. You've got to be alongside sort of to get the move done. On to the grid order, though, and we'll get onto that one. Hopefully it'll pop up on your screen pretty quickly. There it is. And comes up now then. It is P. Ledger on pole from Michael Eckholt. Row 2 is Skunky from Blackmore. Row 3 is Pablo Viana from Pedro Viana from McGowan. That's why I said Pablo. Matt Wright and Daniel on row 4. Row 5 is Sky Schundelmeyer and Darren Yo. Row 6 will be that of Mike Matthews and Emmanuel Machado. Row 7, Jamal Clouden and Ben in P14. Richard Beasley's not there, so Wittrup will be promoted to P15, as will Cosme on to the next row. Diz will then be going from 17th, with O'Reilly alongside him. Then Michael Harris. We'll have Max Mulder for company, and Dan Davis not on the final row. He'll be joined by Overtaker and Gary Leach. If you're wondering why Gary Leach has dropped down to the back of the grid, him and Overtaker failed to get to confirm. So the rule is normally they wouldn't be able to compete in the race. This is kind of their like sort of warning, if you will, that they will start from the back of the grid. Overtaker's fine. He was going from there anyway. But for Gary, was in that top 15 area. He now has to drop to the back of the grid. Not necessarily, though, Phil, the worst thing in the world.
No. Keep your nose clean and pit as soon as the window opens, because the undercut sometimes works. So, I'm looking at the grid. I can't look past Eckholt winning this race 1.
That's funny, because I had the exact same feeling.
Because we saw him last season. We know how quick the Dane train is.
He was rapid. I don't think we saw the best of Eckholt last week.
No. It might have been a little bit of race rust crept in, because, been 6 weeks since the end of the season at that point.
And he'd not actually done the end of the season, had he? He'd missed a few races at the end because of work. So, yeah, going to be interesting to see what he can do. But that's who I'm going for. I assume that's who you're going
again,
for.
Skunky. Skunky's up there as well.
Yeah, Skunky's very capable. Pedro Viana. He's also capable of putting the cat amongst the pigeons. He's got pace.
He's got pace, yeah. And then so is McCowan. In 7th. In the other red line for Junkies Ferrari.
Chris is asking how long the pit lane is, and he asked you. So I don't know if you know that information.
I don't know.
I'll load up my sheet. I have that information. How long is the pit lane? Well, I can tell you that...
Not as long as Spa.
If you get a drive-through penalty here, like the Overtake had a drive-through at Misano last week, and it's not as long as Misano either, a drive-through penalty around this circuit will cost you 18 seconds around here. The average lap time around here is 102 seconds. Now, that's what? That's 1 minute 42 is an average lap time. These guys are a little quicker than an average lap time. 18 seconds time lost for a drive-through, 26 seconds lost for 1 litre of refuel. So that's where we are. But we're about to get ready for the next round of racing. We're about to get underway here at Kyalami. It is the Pro Round 5 of the season, and it is green and go here. And it is a great start from Eckholt already on that outside line of Turn 1 as they come down towards the first corner. You just see Skunky waiting in the wings just behind that of Ledger and Eckholt. Eckholt's going to try and go right around the outside in towards Turn 2. One car's gone a little deep, manages to miss out on Blackwood, but Ledger manages to come back together, drop down to Vienna and a little further down the pack as well. Very congested. Darren Yo and Mike Matthews grid side by side through the Mike Matthews corner. He manages to survive it this time around, and they're still together tooth and nail at the moment. Dropping down towards the back of the pack, though, it is, I believe, the Lexus sedan Davies who's made up a few spots coming through the early stages of this race. And Gary Leach has gone from the back of the grid all the way up to P16. That is a terrific start.
And Gary likes this place. So, his last win with him,
GT4, yeah. At this track. At this circuit. In the Ginetta GT4, Ben going side by side with Sebastian Wittrup. He's lost out that place, and I tell you what, he could lose out to Gary Leach here. The ever the opportunistic man, Gary Leach, goes right around the outside and up the inside of the S's. Gary gets past that of Ben there then, so he's made up another move already. Rob Smith said he killed for an average of 142 around this place, but already out front it is Ledger from Eckholt, under pressure from Skunky. Then it is Pedro Viana from Ian McGowan. Matt Wright, Sky Schundelmeyer's having a better showing in P7. Daniel from Edward Blackmore. Machado has got a group of cars behind him. And Darren Yo and Mike Matthews still can't leave each other alone. They bump off each other and coming through the cheetah side by side. Very cautious from the pair of them. That is a lovely move though. And look at Sebastian Wittrup trying to get up the inside of Darren Yo now. Bit of hip and shoulder. And Gary Leach, once again being opportunistic, gets his teammate and is having a run on Wittrup now. The Porsche driver is absolutely flying.
And I'm now deaf again. What a start by Gary though, from right at the back.
This is old school Gary Leach, isn't it, Phil? This is very much what we are used to seeing with Gary. Look, he's on another move here. This is on Gary Leach to the outside of the Mike Matthews corner, and round he goes, tries to get the up and under, gets the up and under. I think he didn't get the greatest run through the corner though.
No, and Ben's there as well, so Indy and Pink Aston. But Gary, the fastest lap on lap 1. That's not surprising.
No, absolutely rapid from Gary Leach at the moment. Here is Sky Schundelmeyer then. He's on the back of Matt Wright at this moment. There's a gaggle of cars you see just creeping up behind. Believe Wittrup Stale is ahead of Gary. Yes, he is. Look, there he is. Down the order, though, you've got Tommaso Cosmi on the back of Dan. So Dan's up to 17th place. He's ahead of his championship rival Overtaker, who's down in 20th. That's the main thing for him. There's Diz and O'Reilly. Jamal Clouden, another disappointing race. In fact, he's dropped to the back of the pack, Phil, so something's happened to him.
Yeah, and I believe Diz is close to the back as well.
Yeah,
so
Diz was last before Clouden ended up there now. So Diz on the back of the pack, just on board with Wittrup. He's got that straight line speed over Gary. And further forward, look, Mike Matthews gaining on the back of Blackmore.
Yeah. I won't call him Richie Blackmore because I was from Deep Purple, but...
Skunky, where's Eccles? Eccles lost out to Skunky and to Pedro then. And even maybe, possibly caught the cheetah. I assume that's where he was going.
Yeah, the curb at the cheetah, you know, that corner bites, and it bites.
It does bite, indeed, as now McGowan's looking around the outside, but can't make the move done there. There's Matt Wright with Sky Schundelmeyer. Then Daniel Machado's there as well. Mike Matthews has got past. In fact, who was ahead of Mike Matthews? It was Blackmore. He's now down to 20th place. So something's happened to Blackmore. He's a long way behind. Looking at the track maps, that puts Gary up to P12. This is a fantastic drive, though, from Gary Leach. Already in this first race, what can he do as the night goes on? Darren Yo still just behind the pair of these two. He's behind Ben. And you drop down to Max Mulder, who's got Dan Davis, in fact, has passed Cosme and Max Mulder. So Dan's got ahead of them. Now you're looking at Overtaker. Look, side by side on the outside line of Michael Harris. Through turn 6 they go. Still trying to be close together. Not now, they took back in. O'Reilly's with them as well. As then is Jamal Clouden and Diz trying to get on the back of them. But Overtaker at the moment, O'Reilly was bouncing over the curbs there. He's just dropped it a little bit wide. Diz will thank your mama for the carrots, no doubt there. And Jamal Clouden will try and get through. He has got through. So that's another place for Jamal Clouden in this one. But at the minute, Max Mulder under pressure from then a gaggle of cars. But Dan Davis up to 15th place. He'll be heading after Darren Yo now as Gary Leach coming under some pressure from Ben. So that electric start. The others are now starting to come back at Gary Leach.
Yeah. As pit window open and anyone going to dive straight in. Eckholt's gone wide up the cheetah again. Witrup's just dived into the...
Yeah, Dan's gone straight in as well. So just seen in the background there. And look at this look at this group of cars here. This is Daniel side by side now. I presume that's Eckholt, who's lost out to Sky Schundelmeyer and Matt Wright now. And there is a few cars straight into the pit lane. They're getting their stops done straight away. And Eckholt's defending that inside line. Here comes Mike Matthews diving up the inside of Machado. And Mike Matthews has got some pace, but he's gone a little deep. That's allowed Machado back at him. And Mike completes the move now. So Mike Matthews on a charge. The SimPlay Racing and the Team SPR driver of him and Gary Leach, both a part of the SimPlay Racing stable, are having a cracking night. Look at Schundelmeyer having a look now on Matt Wright to the outside of turn 5. Isn't going to get it done around there though. Tucks back in.
Tucks back in. They go another corner round.
Sunset.
And then barbecue. Yes, please.
Mike Matthews right on the rear of Michael Eckholt here. And now Gary Leach, look, he's on the back of Machado. And Gary's trying to have a look up the inside, backside of it. Oh, Mike's bounced off the curb. Oh, where's this going to end up? Oh, in the back of Machado. And Mike was out of control and it's clipped the BMW driver. Gary Leach, well, he'll take 2 places. He's had to break out that one. Look, he's come under pressure from Ben a little bit. Mike Matthews gets back going now, as does Emmanuel Machado. But Mike was the wrong way on the circuit, and that's going to hurt Mike Matthews.
That's going to sting a little bit. Don't touch that curb on the inside of a cheetah, boys. It will put you in a wall.
Legia stays out, Skunky stays out, Vienna's coming in, McGowan is going to stay out, Matt Wright, Schundelmeyer, Daniel and Eckel all stay out. Gary Leach is wide through the cheetah, through goes Yo and through goes Ben, and Gary brings it straight into the pit lane. Then there is Yo, Ben, there is Yo, Cosme,
Harris.
Overtaker and Harris are also in, Machado in, Mike Matthews in, Wittrup, the leader of the pit runners, has got Dan Davis 1.7 behind. Pedro Vienna has already done his stop. He is in and coming out now. So a great stop from Vienna there. I believe Dan Davis may jump Gary Leach just because Gary's now gone wide.
Yeah, and Vienna's stayed in front of. I've lost my train of thought again. Wittrup and all that lot.
Yeah, I think he was behind. Wittrup was in the fight with Gary, wasn't he? But Gary's obviously now lost out massively to Wittrup and to Dan, to Max Mulder, to Harris. And in fact also to Machado. Mike Matthews, stop-go penalty, pushing the limit toward. Gary's having a long stop there. He's down to 21st.
He's not forgot to take tyre change off, right?
What's happened to Clouden? He is well off the back.
I think he had a lot of damage to repair somewhere.
Well, either way, he's had a horrible pit stop there.
Oh, Gary's speeding in the pit
Gary's
lane.
also got a stop-go. So the pair of them, the two drivers that was really making moves have messed up their pit stops. That has ruined their race. And now we're watching Sky Schundelmeyer, who's 7/10 off the back of Matt right now, trying to make up for lost time this season. He's not really had the start to his season, Phil, that Schundelmeyer would have wanted.
No, and plus we've not been able to test previous week because of what sadly happened in Florida. As none of us. McGowan's in.
Yeah, Schundelmeyer's in. Eckholt's coming in as well. Darren Yo's also coming in. Cosme staying out. So Darren Yo getting that stopped. Dropping down the order, O'Reilly's on the back of Machado. Mike Matthews on the back of Overtaker here. But for Mike, it's a fight that, it's a losing battle, isn't it? Because there's no point when you've got the stop-go penalty to your name.
No. So easy to shift up, though, too early or miss your breaking point.
Yeah, Mike runs it tight, and, night race, you're not always going to see the pit board that easy, so Mike's got to hope that he can get it done. Schundelmeyer done, Eckholt done, Dan Davis is through. Darren Yo's having a bit of a longer stop here. He's now coming out, so Dan Davis, look, pitted lap one. Look at him. He's already up to P11, but he's just past that of, I believe, Schundelmeyer and Eckholt in the pits. As Max Mulder's trying to go around the outside of Michael Eckholt now, as Eckholt rejoins. They're still side by side. Eckholt still has that inside line. Up and over the sausage curb. Slazzy inside for turn 4. Max Mulder up and under. That could be a lovely move from Max, but it's going to put him on the outside for the next part of the track. As Mike Matthews and Gary in for them stop-go penalties. And Max Mulder loses out there to Michael Eckholt. But Dan pitted lap 1. He sat P9. Great strategy.
P9, about 3 seconds behind McGowan. And closing.
Yeah, well, we'll see what the gap is come sector 2. McGowan obviously close to the back of Pedro Vienna halfway through the race. This is Patrick Liga's race to lose, really, isn't it? As him and Skunky stay out.
Yeah, but they've only got, 5 minutes to pit? As long as they pass that pit lane.
They've got to just be in the lane, haven't they? They've just got to be in the pits, and that's fine. Wright stays out. Daniel Ben comes into the pits. Cosme's also going to push it as well, as Max Mulder still with Michael Eckholt here. This is looking back from Max Mulder's car. There is Michael Eckholt then coming down down towards the Crocodile now. There's Gary Leach still in for his stop-go, and he's cleared it now, so he's only just left the pit lane, so Gary's gone a lap down, and that is his and Mike Matthews' race. Yeah, exactly. Same with Mike Matthews, though. Great start from Mike. Yeah. Didn't happen at all. I think Schundelmeyer there just went a little wide at the cheetah, kicked up a little dust. This is on board with Max Mulder then. Dan Davis has got past Ben, so that's another position gain for Dan Davis here, as goes Max Mulder. Look, he now comes flying past Ben as well.
And there's Daniel right in front of Dan, right as he exited the pits.
So Daniel holds his position. Daniel pitted from P3.
Yeah.
I think it was, because Matt Wright was 4th, wasn't he? So that to me means that Dan's got a bit of work to do to get out ahead of Skunky and Ledger. That means Patrick and Skunky at the moment are possibly in a good position to, you know, win this race or finish on the podium.
Yeah. Possibly, Ledger goes into the second race or qualifying ban.
Yep, as does Daniel, who's in front of Dan Davis here. So it's Daniel versus Dan. It's as confusing as Robert versus Rob.
Ledger's in.
So Ledger in, he's got the fastest lap of the race. He's took that away from Gary. Dan Davis going to look up the inside in towards Ingui, but can't do it. I say can't, didn't look really like he attacked too much. Schundelmeyer's not a million miles away behind this fight. And there you saw Pedro Viana and Ian McGowan just coming down the mine shaft towards the Crocodile. Top three in then. Cosme's going for one more lap. He's got time here, Phil.
He has got time for one more lap. That's what is it, 142s roughly they're doing. So yeah, one more. You ain't got time to squeeze another one in.
Easy, one more. You're going to have to be, you know, wary of the next one after this, but easy one more at the minute. Matt Wright is done. Matt Wright is out. Dan Davis has got past Daniel now. So Daniel coming under pressure elsewhere. Max Mulder has lost out to Eckholt and Ben. So Ben's got past Max Mulder somewhere in that final sector. That name has just changed. And dropping down to Machado, who's on the back of Kieran O'Reilly. In fact, Kieran O'Reilly's past Machado this lap. Darren Yeo's also trying to get on the back of Overtaker. Darren Yeo, what's happened to him? He's down in 19th place.
He had that long pit stop.
He did have a long pit stop, yeah. So whatever he's done there has ruined it for himself. But at the minute, he's trying to gain then on the back of Overtaker, who's not had a great race in this opener from the back of the grid. McGowan now trying to get within half a second of that of Pedro Viana, and he's got Matt Wright 1.3 off the back. So at the minute, Skunky's done, Ledger's done. Dan's still P7, and Skunky and Ledger there. Well, they're doing well at the minute, aren't they? And this could be a good race for these drivers. Dan Davis will be happy, though, that he's picking up points over his championship rivals.
Yeah, he's leading his teammate because his Mike got a stop go for speeding in pit lane. Cut that fight. Where's Cosme on track? He's got a pit now.
He has to pit now, otherwise that'll be a big penalty for him. And that'll be the end of his race. Into the pits he comes. Has Cosme just done enough, though, maybe to stay out ahead of Dan Davis? What do you lose for that 1 litre of fuel? It is 26 seconds around this track for that 1 litre of fuel. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here with Cosme. I've just noticed the chat's on top chat. Let's get it on all chats. We can see everybody chatting as well. Susie Cream Cheese says grounding for the win. I missed out one in there, so apologies, Susie Cream Cheese, as well. To Cosme's coming out the pits. Where's Dan Davis, though? Is Cosme going to come off the limiter?
Skunky's leading.
Skunky is leading. So we didn't see where he passed Ledger. That must have been in the pits. Ledger's now coming under pressure from Pedro Viana into turn 1. And Dan Davis now moves up to 6th ahead of Cosme. Did Cosme come out ahead of Daniel? No, he did not. Daniel's side by side with Schundelmeyer. Schundelmeyer gets through. And Eckholt is right on the rear now of Cosme, with Ben on the rear of him. This is a three-way battle for 10th, 11th and 12th at the moment. This is a good... for 9th, 10th and 11th. Good little fight here between these three. Oh, Eckholt! Loose at the Mike Matthews corner. Loose at the Mike Matthews corner.
So we've got the Mike Matthews corner at Kyle Army, the SimPlay straight at Donny.
Yep. Is there. Great move from Ben there, up the inside and towards Sunset on Eckholt. And Ben moves up into 10th place then. 5 minutes left in this race. It's Skunky from Ledger. But Ledger is under pressure here from Machado, from Vienna, from McGowan and from Matt Wright. Dan Davis trying to get onto the back of this quartet of cars as well.
He is, but Dan's scoring some good points here, but depends what his drop score's going to be.
Well, Overtaker's currently down in 18th. So, you know, if we ignore the drop scores for now, Dan is outscoring Overtaker.
Which is what you need to do. Put Dan in the lead of the championship.
Obviously, all results that we speak about tonight are all provisional. As Vienna's just lost out to McGowan there. McGowan's just got the move done on Vienna. All results tonight are provisional. And the tables, when they are posted, are the final classifications. After drop scores, after stewards' inquiries, after everything. So that is what you need to keep your eye on.
Look at the speed the Lexus catches the back of the Ferrari down the front straight.
Dan's now on this quarter. It's now I don't know what the word for the 5-1 is, to be fair. So no good me trying to guess. As
7.
Dan Davis, look, this is his view on board. Dan Davis, there is the 4 cars in front of him.
Oh, bit of contact between Vienna and
Ledger.
Vienna. Ledger. Too many blue Ferraris.
McGowan through. Ferrari. Vienna's got past Ledger. Dan Davis there just got past Matt Wright as well, round the outside of turn 4. So Dan now moves himself up into P5. And with McGowan starting to just pull away from this battle, Vienna might also drop away as well. Ledger still with fastest lap, but something's gone wrong with that car because it looked pretty comfortable, fastest lap of the race. It's now struggling as Dan Davis gets a great run through the S's, and look at that, straight up the inside on the exit of the S's, in towards Ingui. Dan Davis up the inside, Matt Wright as well, he's got a 2 for 1.
Tesco meal deal.
Oh, here comes Schundelmeyer now, who's in this battle. Ledger's dropping backwards at the moment. Schundelmeyer's through. And is he running out of fuel? Is he fuel saving at the moment, Ledger? Because that car just looks slow. Oh, Ledger's tapped Schundelmeyer around and then straight. Oh no, Schundelmeyer's off. Ledger's tapped him. Through goes Daniel. So what a shame there. But Dan Davis, well, he's now the man who's charging.
He is. He's got a podium in sight.
Podium in sight, and it is right in front of him. But at the minute, it's a Ferrari 1-2 of Skunky and McGowan. And it's a Redline Junkies 1-2, actually, looking at it from there. McGowan's dropped away from Vienna. And what we've got 2 minutes left. So we've got this lap and then the final lap to go in this race to keep a Redline Junkies 1-2 and a Ferrari 1-2 as well. That'll be huge for Ferrari. He's just getting the exit, isn't he? And he said last night, this track at times is about the exit you get through the corner, not the speed. You know, more about the traction out the corner than anything. And that's what Dan's getting at the moment.
Yeah, it's just the car looks so well hooked up.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
And I'm in helicopter cam, so I can see everything.
It's Dan Davis, and he's got Matt Wright still with him on the back of him. Just going to drop down the order a little bit. Ben is trying to get on the back of Tommaso Cosmi, and he's got Patrick Leger for company. Diz is there with Eckholt. Whatever happened to Diz at the opening stage of this race, he sorted his problems out. He's back up the order. Schundelmeyer now is on the back of Machado after being spun round. O'Reilly's on the back of Overtaker now. It looks like Overtaker's just got past O'Reilly. Darren Yo's not a million miles away from them two. And then you've got Jamal Clouden, not sure what happened to him. Mike Matthews, stop-go penalty. Gary Leach as well, stop-go penalty. He's actually got Skunky, the race leader, just behind him for position, as Dan Davis now getting really close to back of Pedro Vienna.
In front of Ledger.
So Ben's now past Ledger, as has Cosmi then. So I'm not sure what has happened to Patrick. Fastest lap in this race and just going backwards at the minute. Good evening to Casper Olin and Old Sim Racer as well, as Dan was having a look there at the final corner. Phil, what an opening race, but it's the final lap of this 20 minutes. And here comes Dan Davis in that Lexus down the inside.
Here comes the straight line speed of the Lexus. And yeah, I think not. Yeah, Dan's got that done. Oh, we got a little love tap.
Oh, he did get a little love tap there from Machado. Machado's not gone to overtake. Eckholt's in the pits. Big damage looks like on the bonnet. The front, the flight's flickering. It's crumpled up. So damage here on the bonnet of that McLaren. That could help Gary and Mike and Clouden gain an extra position at least. But Dan Davis looks like he's through and done and dusted. Matt Wright might want to get Machado here as well. Going back down to Cosmi. What's happened to Ben? In fact, what's happened to Cosmi? Because Cosmi's dropped out behind Ledger and Max Mulder. He's got Harris chasing him. Ben's up to 7th. But at the minute, it's all about this man, Skunk, as he comes through Ingui now towards the Crocodile.
We know Skunky missed the GT4s, but
what a drive!
Makes up for it tonight.
Yeah, he does.
Make up for it tonight, though.
Massively more than makes up for it tonight. Absolutely fantastic race for him, and this has been a brilliant start to his night in the GT3s here at Kyle Army, and it's going to be another new GT3 winner. We saw him win a few races last time out, last season in the GT4s. He won at Bathurst in the GT4s this season, but Skunky is going to come across the line and he's going to win the first race of the evening. What a drive from him. McGowan has managed to hang on in there from Dan Davis, who's not quite close enough to the back of him. So McGowan will come home for that P2. Great drive, Dan Davis, all down to strategy P3. Pedro Vienna, Matt Wright, Daniel P6. Ben is going to come across 4P7. Good drive from Ben. Patrick Leggio, fastest lap of the race, but down in 8th place from Max Mulder, Michael Harris, Tommaso Cosmi, Emmanuel Machado down in 12th, Sky Schundelmeyer 13th. In fact, what happened to Machado? It was Vienna. Overtake 14th, O'Reilly 15th, Sebastian Winthrop 16th, Darren Yeo 17th. Here comes Diz with damage in 18th. Blackmore is going to come across for 19th place. Eckholt has just finished in the pit lane. Obviously, as he's exited, he's gone a lap down and crossed the line. Here comes then Jamal Clouden. Not the start of the night that Jamal Clouden or Gary Leach or Mike Matthews, based on their pace, would have wanted.
Well, what a start by Gary.
Well, Gary and Mike was absolutely flying, wasn't they, at the starts? Yeah. But it just went wrong for them, didn't it? It went so wrong for them.
Yeah, and then the 30-second time penalty, stop go. That is race over. But you don't give up. You still get points.
No, you don't give up. You still get points, and it's race over in a 20-minute race as we just await for Gary to come around. Harris, he crossed the line P10 as I'm just inputting the results now. Max Mulder was 9th. So decent result for Max Mulder again. Wittrup was down in 16th place. Daniel, where did Daniel finish in this one? He was up in 6th, so good result for him. Gary Leach, we know, is going to cross the line 22nd. Darren Yeo was only 17th. Shame for him. Sky Schundelmeyer was up in 13th. But what we'll do is we'll take a quick break and we'll be back with the results in a few moments' time. Clear.
Mike's just said in chat, caught the S's, sent him flying.
Shit. We saw that one, Mike. No fucking shit.
Oh, what happened to Ledger's pace though? It just died.
It just died at the end, didn't it? Just absolutely died.
The car just went.
Clouden's got to get out of that car, man. That is the wrong car for Clouden. I know he can't, but that's what I'm saying though. It's the wrong car for him this season.
Yeah, he should have stuck to the Macca. Because he was comfortable in the McLaren.
Michael Eckholt was 23rd.
I think Eckholt went off at the cheater again.
And
this time face plant.
Where did Cosme finish? I just missed it. Cosme finished 11th.
Yeah, I think he face planted the wall. Eckholt did.
Right.
This time up for a cheater. I'm having a drink.
Yeah, no, I'm going to run to the toilet in a second anyway. I'm just going to sort these tables out.
I better go for a piss. Oh, Scheiße.
Dan leads by 25 points. Obviously, drop scores will change, but
that as it stands.
Max is still 3rd. Harris is.
I tell you what, Max has done well so far this season.
Yeah, but let's be honest, it'd have been at least 12th, but at 11th because of Gary and Mike, but they ballsed it. So back in a sec and run to the toilet.
Yeah. A bottle of Sprite. Tell you, I think Skunky's looking good for a double. Oh, Mike, you've cursed it.
Gary changed tyres in the pits.
Oh, what? I said he left it on, didn't I? Mike's cursed it now. He's just went hats off to all. That was one of the cleanest starts I've seen for a while. Should I say you've cursed
Dan
it?
Just said that, Dan said that to him on his stream just a minute ago because I loaded Dan's stream up while I was at the toilet.
So you've cursed it, Dan.
Patrick lost all pace after the pits.
Yeah, no shit.
I've had that a few times before though. But I come out pits and it's just like,
Maybe put wets on accidentally.
I imagine.
no, it's just even not changing tyres when pressures are all bang on and everything.
Max has just put fastest lap in practice.
Some of them just feel slidier and I don't know why.
Green light, show them what you got. He was saying he lost straight line speed.
Right, Skunky's first one out there. It's gone boarding for a lap. No, we do that. 5, 4. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport as we come now for race 6 of the season, in which it's been a fantastic race won there by everybody in this on the Kyle Army track at the moment. It was a great race. We're currently on board with your first race winner of Skunky, as we are going to do a lap with him on qualifying for the Pro qualifying race. Remember that Daniel and Ledger have a qualifying ban. The championship standings, though, obviously before all penalties and drop scores are calculated. Dan Davies leads by 25 points from overtake, with Max Mulder in third place. Michael Harris is then P4 from O'Reilly in P5. Cosme is P6 with Diz in P7. Ben is up to P8 with McGowan P9. Good result from McGowan in that first race. Wittrup is P10 with Skunky. Another good result for him, up into P11. Matt Wright is P12 from Pedro Vienna is P13. Daniel is P14 with Machado P15. Cloudon's up 16th place, tied with Darren Yo in 17th, with Giggle in P18. Mike Matthews is down to 19th place with Sky Schundelmeyer in 20th. Richard Beasley's 21st. Tim Ventink down to 22nd. Paolo down to 23rd. Gary Leach down to 24th, with Legia, Blackmore, Verkrashen and Eckholt bringing them at the rear. The Constructors' Championship looks a little like this, and it's SimPlay Racing who lead the way. 32 points clear of BSP Esports, with Team FBR on 34 points behind the championship leaders. Redline Junkies P4 from Fat Blokes Bandits P5. Dan Seb Racing are P6 with BSP Racing down in 7th. The Naval Racing Team are 8th and Team SPR are in P9. 91 points separating the teams at the moment. Phil, great race one. We can say this afternoon. It was really fantastic because Max Mulder's outlap looks like it's counted there for some strange reason.
Okay.
What are we going to see? Yeah, exactly. Don't normally see that, do you? What are we going to see here? Although it looks like Dan and Daz have both stopped on circuit. That's possibly to give themselves a gap out there on the track as they'll start their first flying lap. This is Skunky's first flyer, but what a first race it was.
What a clean first race for what we've seen anyway from our POV in the comms box. But yeah, that was a great first race. We said Skunky was a shout for the race win.
We did, yeah.
Well.
And we both went Eckholt.
And we both went Eckholt and cursed him. So let's not say anyone for race 2.
Yeah, let's not say anybody for race 2. Great to see Ian Gray in the chat. Hopefully he'll be back next season. It's good to see Ian Gray back in the chat. Obviously we know he's busy with personal life out there. Daniel and Patrick Legger are in the pit lane. Skunky! Well, that's going to be an invalidation of his first lap then, and that's a shame for him because he was going quite
Vienna's
well.
Outlap as well.
It has counted Vienna's outlap as well. It was 9 seconds quicker than Max's, but what a strange thing to do. Ben will set the first lap then, and Daniel and Ledger then have completed their qualifying ban, so that is great to see. So Ben across the line, he does a 41.5, good lap from him. Car 75 is coming towards the line. That is Diz. What does he put on the board? Half second off the pace. Michael Eckholt not too far as well. Mike Matthews next to the line. What does he go and do? He goes up into second place before Machado set a time there. Let's check the car 95 out. That then is Max Muldrews on a flyer at the moment. Machado went second. Max goes into P5. What about car 33? That is the next one to the line. And that is Sebastian, or one of the next cars to the line. Wittrup it is, as Jamal Clouden moves up into second place in that Mercedes. We see the Mercedes come on stronger in race 2, don't we? Than we do in race 1. Dan Davis next on a lap. Car 14 is just behind Dan. Looks like it's on an invalid one. We will check it as Dan goes up the timing screens. We'll see where Dan's gone in a moment. Overtaker was on
P1.
An outlap. Dan's gone provisional pole at the time being, as Daz moves up into 14th place. Next up is Gary 131. Changed tyres, I've heard, in the first race, so that's not what you want to do, as Gary moves up into 6th place before car 46 of Pedro Viana will get his proper lap time in first of all, and he goes P10. Next up, 302.
Was just skunky in this Ferrari. A double Ferrari podium. I like that.
Double Red Line Junkies podium as well.
Yeah, their first one too.
Yeah, first one too. First podium for them as Ben's gone wide at the Cheetah. First podium for the pair outside of a GT4 event. Here comes Skunky down the start line then. P17. Tops the timing screen 0.06 of a second quicker.
Cool.
The 112, I believe, is next of Michael Eckholt. The lap time of the car behind isn't valid. Here comes Eckholt. No improvement for him. Car 11. That's Mike Matthews. Currently 6/10 off the pole at the moment. Towards the line he comes now. Goes with... Whoa, what a close qualifying this one's turning out to be.
It is, isn't it? And again, it's down to the old touring cars with that close for the top 14.
Well, 9/10 separate the top 15. So it is incredibly tight.
Top 16,
as Michael, yeah, it has changed. As Michael Harris stays in P10. Car 33 is coming to the line. That is Wittrup. Can Wittrup now get inside a second? No, he cannot. What about Dan Davis, who needs 2 and a bit tenths to get back onto the pole? As Jamal Clouden takes that away, Dan Davis doesn't improve that time around. The number 14 of Overtaker comes to the line. Makes it the top 17. No, because Clouden went quickest, so we missed that one. Darren Yo, did he just improve? He's now within a second. Top 17 within a second, though. That is pretty impressive.
It is. Yeah, that's so close.
Top 18 now within a second. Here comes Ian McGowan, yet to set a lap time. Puts one on the board. Top 19 within a second now. So what closeness. This is fantastic.
It is. We like a close championship. We don't like one driver to disappear into the sunset, which would be sunrise if we were still racing here in the morning. Because what time are we at the moment?
It's midnight for qualifying.
Yeah, it's midnight. So we've got several hours before the sun rises in South Africa, I think.
Here comes Disdo out the final corner down the start line. He's going to come. Currently 9/10 off the pole. Goes to 7/10 off the pole, up to 13th place. Mike Matthews pits to change maybe onto a different set of tyres and go again. The 135 of Matt Wright is coming out the final corner. He's 9/10 off the pole. What can Matt Wright do in this session?
Second.
Moves himself up into second. That's what he can do. That is a heck of a lap time. Car 34 is next. That's Michael Harris. He's currently 8/10 off the pole before Jamal Clouden. He moves up to 7th. What can Jamal Clouden do? Is there any improvement in that Mercedes once again? No, not this time around. The 74 is coming down the start line. That is Kieran O'Reilly. He's within 7/10. He moves up the order to provisional pole. What about Dan Davis? Can he do anything about it? Goes P3, so moves up the order, but only goes P3. Gary 131, 9/10 of a second now. And top 19 that was a second. It's now the top 20 are a set 1.4. What can Gary Leach do here in 9/10 off the provisional pole time. No improvement.
Tight qualifying.
No improvement. It is. Someone's just moved up the order as well. That was Cosme who's got up there. Car 95. That's Max Mulder. 1.2. He's on an outlap. Car 302 then's the next on a valid one. That'll be Skunky again. Look at half a second separate the top 8. 1 second separate the top 16. And look at McGowan to overtake her. 0.004 of a second between 14th and 16th.
Yeah, it's so close.
That is tight. That is brilliant stuff to watch here. Here comes Skunky then. 0.4 off the pole. Does he improve? He does. He goes second place. What about Ben? Does he find any more? He goes second place now.
Aston 1-2.
What about the car 75 of Diz? A second from pole at the moment. Can Diz find any more time? No, he cannot. The 1, 2, 3. That is Machado. Moves up to 10th. Next car, car 34. That's Michael Harris. This is close. Diz did improve. Apologies. He went with under a second.
This is so close. Does Harris improve though in the Lexus?
Yes, goes P6. Goes P6 and finds a little more time. There's another car with a 3. It's Witchrup the next lap. Schummelmeyer's only just got a lap on the board there. That's not what you want to see. 1.1 for Witchrup. He's not improved massive amounts. 95 is the next one. That's Max Mulder.
This is so close. 2.5 to top 20. Oh. Beat that so-called pinnacle of motor racing. This is a close qualifier.
Yeah, hugely close. It's really good, this is. And this is testament to the pro drivers this season as well for how close this is.
Yeah, right, as Dan crosses the line, is he on an outlap or...
Yeah, I don't think he was on a valid one. I've picked up Max Mulder that's valid. And he's coming to the line now. Mulder moves up to 10th.
Yeah, within 0.6 of a second.
Skunky.
We've had first and second separated by bigger gaps in some races.
And look at this, top 17 now is by a second. As Skunky stays third. Car 75 is next.
Tracy says hi in chat.
Good evening to Tracy. Great to see that you're doing so well. Diz, 9/10 off the pole. Look at that overtaker. Is a second off the pole. Down in 17th place. What can he do here as he crosses the line? Moves it up to P4.
P4.
So the top 16 separated by less than a second.
Yeah. So close.
Go on, Schundelmeyer. What can you do now?
Come on, Skyboo. As Tracy
I want this to be... This could be as close as ever. This could be. To the line within 1.1. So it's close.
It is close. Where's Dan on track? Dan is on the downhill run. Heading towards Dan Crocodile, heading towards Cheetah.
Excuse me there, McGowan didn't improve. It is Dan Davis, the next one on a valid lap. Oh, excuse me.
Here comes Carl. Oh, it's got to be just within track limits.
I think a few of these that's crossing the line now are all on outlaps. Because all their time, all their times all blue.
As Dan
Davis,
the line.
still P6. Still P6. Here comes Darren Yeo. 20th, 1.3 off the pole. 18th, 1.1 off the pole. The 135 is coming next. That is Matt Wright. Half a second separates the top 11, can we just point out?
Yeah, so close.
That is ridiculous.
Skunky's gone fastest.
Skunky has gone fastest. When did he just do? He's just done that.
So
Skunky's gone quicker. Overtake around the final corner. L7, hello P Ledger here. Did Peaceful of Matthew read my DMs about my car? I don't know. If you DM it to me as well, L7, I'm Matthew Duffin, so if you DM it to me, I can have a look at it and quick read now of it while on commentary. His overtaker stays P4, 0.3 off the pole. Mike Matthews is currently on his qualifying lap. All very quick tonight, says Chris in the chat. Here comes Mike Matthews then. 0.6 of a second off provisional pole. Does he find anything in the car? He does. Yes. He goes P4. That is a heck of a lap from Mike Matthews. Ian McGowan next up. That's brilliant. What a session this is. Ian McGowan goes within 9/10. I believe that's Gary next to the line. It is. 140, that's Ben in front, but Ben's on an invalid time. Here comes Gary Leach. What can he do? To the line. Goes P13. He finds more time as well. Dan Davis now not down to 7th by his teammate. No worries, Milkman. I will have a read quickly. Dan Davis to the line. Stays P7.
No improvement for Dan. But who's on it? Taker's now about across the line, I believe, or was it Harris? I need better eyesight. Skunky's now coming to a line, so this might put it even further out of touch.
Oh, O'Reilly's coming to the line as well. Skunky didn't improve there. Here comes O'Reilly. No improvement there. 75. That's Diz, who's now just over a second behind in 18th. Moved to within a second down in 16th. Darren Yo's also improved. He's within. He's on a second
Overtake
of that
P2.
time. Wittrup now goes up to 15th. So the top 19 separated by a second. Overtaker's up to P2. Mike Matthews the next one on a lap.
As Mike rounds the final corner. See what Mike has.
Indeed, comes down the start straight. 2 tenths he needed. Didn't find anything there. Michael Harris is in the pits. The 664 is next. That's McGowan. Rob Smith to all the pros tonight. Unbelievably close in qualifying. Indeed it is. As now McGowan moves top 11. Half a second, Phil.
Yeah.
Just a casual half a second between the top 11.
Half a second.
What a strange, what a qualifying. They're all going to get final laps in, bar those that's in the pits. Gary to the line. He finds a slight improvement. Dan Davis. 3 tenths separate the top 8.
Yeah.
Here's a tenth separates the top 4. Dan goes within 2 tenths, goes P6. He's got one more lap in him. I think he's bailed though. Dan's done. Dan is done. The 135 will not get another lap in. 74 will. That is O'Reilly. So Danny's done for qualifying. Eckholt's done. Darren Yo's done. Machado done. Mulder done. Cosme done. Harris done. Overtaker done. We know Dan Davis is also in the pit lane. Matt Wright is done. Here comes Kieran O'Reilly. Can he take pole at the end? No, he can't. We now just wait for car 33 of Sebastian Wittrup and Mike Matthews. But what a qualifying this has been.
So close. Oh, no, Wintrup's wide. That should be his lap over. So that leaves Mike Matthews as the last person to qualify. No pressure, Mike.
Now, where is Mike? He's just out of his teammate and could easily take pole position here. Mike Matthews, this would be a massive occasion for him if he was to take pole. Rounds the final corner now. 2 and a bit tenths for Mike Matthews. Where's this going to put him on the grid? Stays down in P5. But a great qualifying. Half a second separate the top 11. 8 tenths of a second separate the top 19. That is so close. It's unbelievable how tight that is. And Phil, what a session. What a session.
What race we're going to get in the hour. Is anyone going to change tyres? Because the cooler temperatures could cause the tyres to grey.
The problem is, though, as well, Phil, let's not forget, the closer you are, the more time you're going to lose in the pits, isn't it? We saw that Richie Michelle gained 12 seconds, so that when he come to losing 27, you know, he'd lost a little bit less depending on what the other strategies are. So it's really going to be down to what the other drivers are going to do. It might be a case of you have to read the race.
Yeah, well, if you've got another set of tyres to burn, you got, and say you're down.
Oh, that as well. Actually, that reminds me. That as well is Ferrari's 25th pole position, as well as Playerman and Richie Michelle getting their 50th last night. That is Ferrari's 25th pole position. So a good night for Ferrari. Couple of race wins as well. O'Reilly's up into third. The Astons, great qualifying from the Astons there.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I'm going to point something out. There's been a bit of rumours around recently that the Lexus is overpowered. They're 6th and 8th.
6th and 8th. Are they overpowered?
That isn't massively overpowered to me, is it? You know.
No.
Clouden was pole for a while. He's down in 7th. You know, he's got a lot of work to do, hasn't he? Because his season's not yet sort of got started the way we kind of expected it.
No, it hasn't, so... As I was just reading chat quickly.
Right, that is the qualifying done. We'll get the thing out now. P. Williams, evening, gents. Looking forward to this tonight. Indeed, we are. If my car has the same issues in the 20 minutes rate, my apologies in advance. That is P. Ledger. That is Milkman in Discord. He said that his car just lost all pace in the race. Go Sky, go BSP, says Tracy. And Susie Cream Cheese, Skunky in a time machine. Well, I tell you what, they all must be in a time machine to be that close, because that is just absolute perfection.
You blink and you miss about 5 cars.
Oh, you have a spin in this race. That's your race done if you're that close.
Yeah. And if you've got already pushed for pace to
10 seconds.
to get ahead of them, oh, this is going to be really interesting.
Oh, isn't it?
Who
Yeah.
are we going to put the commentator's curse on?
Do you know what? I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I want to see a cracking race. I'll put the poll up for everybody else, but I want a fantastic race. I'm not going to put the curse on anybody.
As they now begin their warm-up lap. Here for the hour-long race. Pit window opens 25 minutes into the race.
Yeah, 35 minutes, isn't it? The pit window opens. What about you, Phil? Who are you going?
I'm not going to curse anyone.
Yeah, good.
I feel sorry for Eckholt now.
I think they're that close, dude, that we just leave it. While we are at it as well, while they're on the formation lap, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you like what you see here, as well as subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are close to 800 subscribers. Hit that bell to be notified also, as well as go and check out our fantastic sponsors, Design Manchester and Audio Sport. The links are in the description, but Design Manchester, producers of vinyl graphics, laser engraved gifts, mugs, printed clothing and much more, including SimPlay Motorsport merchandise. Their Facebook link is in the description, so make sure you check that out. And check out Audio Sport while you're there. Manufacturers of VW Transporter, T4 Audio Solutions and Styling. Head over to www.audiosport.co.uk. And also their Facebook link and website link is in the description. As well as Mike Matthews, he's got a list of baby clothing to tell me, especially now. We know the gender of the baby, so... He's got to tell me what he can make, because I've got some things that I need making. And yes, there will be a SimPlay... She doesn't know this, but yes, there will be a SimPlay Motorsport badge on the back saying like and subscribe underneath. Because why not?
And this is where Emily's heard you say that, and now you're in trouble.
Nah, she wouldn't have me saying that. Not at all.
She would have Tony's in chat.
Yeah, Tony'd grass me up. Unless it's a tangerine piece of clothing, Tony, yeah? Orange. So they come round Ingwe now and drop down the hill. Just
for the final time tonight.
Yeah. Great week of racing again, Phil. Great week of racing again.
Yeah, great week. And then we move to Laguna Seca again, another different style of circuit.
Yeah. But you have to be impressed with the amount of good racing this season. We've seen it in GT4s, we've seen it in Pro-Am. You know, we're seeing it again tonight, aren't we? That this has just been a cracking year of racing for these drivers.
It has, yeah, and hopefully this one will be quite clean as well. Well, touch wood. Yes, I am touching wood. Touch my baseboard. As they now move into double file to round the final corner to take
also,
the start.
Phil, just ignore my Discord messages. That is to remind myself of pictures I have to make tomorrow.
Yep.
Thank you. Right, round the final corner. Go on, Phil.
Did you like my new nationality?
I did, yeah, I've seen that. Round the final corner for the final time this evening. We head to Laguna Seca, as Phil said, in a week's time. But we are, for the final time tonight, green and go for Kyle Army. Race 6 of the season. Overtaker's got a good start alongside Skunky. Here, he's already got that pace in the Mustang. Look in the straight line. Covers then turn 1. He's got to be able to keep it there, dabbing on and off the brakes a little bit. That'll be him on the pad that's not got as fluent to control. All looks pretty clean through. Look at them in the background. Look, 4 or 5 abreast through turn 1. Everybody squeezing for every inch of track there. That's Wittrup who is off. Blackmore's been tapped around. Yeah, has he lost the rear? I didn't see quite if he got tapped.
Wittrup
and one of the Naval Racing Team cars are having a bit of a ding-dong, but out front, I tell you what, it's a great start from Overtaker. He did exactly what he needed to do.
Now the question is, how much fuel are people running? Are we going to run heavy and just put 1 litre in, or are we going to run 50 litres and fill the car back up?
Dan Davis as well, good start for him. He moved up to P4 in this one off the start, so he gained 2 places. Then it's Ben and Mike, then it's Harris, then Mulder, then it's Cloud and Matt Wright. Gary Leach is up to 11th. He's had a moment through the S's because he's got McGowan trying to attack the back of him side by side, coming up in towards Ingui. Is Tommaso Cosmi going to try and follow McGowan through? He looks, but isn't really close enough to get that one to work. Gary there, just a little twitch. Oh, was that a twitch or was that lag? From Gary,
lag.
Yeah, that looked like lag to me as well. Ian McGowan then coming down the hill, so Cosmi gets through. Now, come straight off him. Wittrup's got Eckholt and Vienna behind him. Darren Yeo is 17th. Patrick Leger, then Machado from Sky Schundelmeyer. Then it is Diz, Daniel and Edward Blackmore, who's not too far off the back of the pack. But Overtaker there, Phil, got the start he needed to do, and away he goes.
He got the start he needed to do, but we know Skunky's got the pace as well, so...
And again, at this stage of the race, Phil, it's all about that strategy, isn't it? Like you said a moment ago, what fuel are the drivers running? Because Overtaker, we know, at times likes to run a little lighter and add the fuel in the pit stops. Daniel's already in the pits.
Yeah, is there any damage on his car? Let me just...
While you're checking that, Dan Davis, fastest lap of the race. Ben was hanging it a little loose through turn 3.
There's a little bit of damage, but not enough really to warrant a repair yet.
Depends on, I suppose, on how the car's handling, or maybe the speed lost in a straight line. Let's wait and see, though.
Or if he's got the meatball flag already.
Yeah, I wonder if he's just got maybe a bit more of a mechanical flag there. Mike's trying to keep with Ben. He's got Max Mulder and Harris with him. Just behind these two, Jamal Clouden has got himself ahead of Matt Wright. Then it's McGowan and Gary Leach. Gary Leach has got back ahead of Cosmi. Gary would want to start the race like he had in the last one. Cosmi from Wittrup. Then it's Eckholt and Vienna. And then look at this behind, not behind Patrick Lager, sorry, behind Darren Yeo. He's got Schundelmeyer, Machado and Diz right with him as Darren Yeo at the moment. So that Ferrari possibly... I think Darren's running a bit heavier there because he's not really doing anything wrong and he's quick in qualifying, he's quick in the races, Darren Yeo. So these drivers may be just running that different strategy that we used to see.
Yeah, well, again, with it's quite cool as well.
17 degrees, and I didn't see what it... Did you see what it dropped to at the end of race 1? Because I didn't.
I think it stayed 17.
Right, so I'm wondering if we're going to get it dropping down. Obviously, the hour race, we're going to be at 2 in the morning, aren't we? Or just after 2 in the morning here. I'm just going to look at one of the driver streams that I've got up on my screen. It's 1:08, so yeah, we're going to be down to 2 in the morning, just after 2 in the morning, so it could be easily 16, if not 15 degrees, getting a little cooler as the night goes on. We'll wait and see, though. But Dan Davis at the minute trying to get on the back of Kieran O'Reilly. He can't get too close so far.
O'Reilly's wide.
Just watching
was a bit deep by O'Reilly.
Yo, Dan's got him. Yeah, I've just seen in the distance. We went to Cloud and Dan's got past him, and Ben's now looking up the inside and backs out of that one. So whatever happened to O'Reilly, it really messed him up. Ben's hit the curb hard through the Mike Matthews corner, and Mike Matthews gets past him.
In the Mike Matthews corner.
Brilliant. Paul Williams, splash and dash, pitting early paid dividends for me last night. The problem is, Paul, pit window's not open, so splash and dash not necessarily the right strategy around here. So Ben's lost out a place there, as did Kieran O'Reilly. Jamal Clouden's on the back of Max Mulder, and he's bringing Matt Wright, McGowan and Gary Leach with him. Then it's Cosmi, a bit of a gap back to Wittrup with him, Eckholt and Vienna and Patrick Leger. Then it's Darren Yeo still holding on from Machado, who's got ahead of Schundelmeyer now. Then it's Diz, Blackwood on his own, and Blackmore on his own, and Daniel on his own as well after making that early pit stop. Overtaker, he's gapping Skunky a little bit. Skunky's now fastest man on track, but he's not dropping him at a quick rate.
No. And if Taker is putting fuel in at the pit stops, he needs to pull away rapidly.
Yeah. I agree.
And now Dan...
And this is something that we saw with Richie Michelle last night. Richie Michelle, 12, 13 seconds clear, could change tyres and put the fuel in that he needed to do, couldn't he? With Overtaker, it's not enough at this stage race, but we're only 6 minutes in, so we don't know what's going to happen yet.
Taker's as fast as that. Skunky does not take it off him.
Oh, Vienna into the back of Eckholt, and around goes Eckholt. Vienna carries on the way, and I'm assuming that one's going to go into the stewards. That was just tapped him round, and away she went. And now Darren Yo's capitalised on a bit of this. Machado's defending from Sky, whilst attacking that at Darren Yo. Machado steams up the inside, gets it parked on the apex. Darren has to go wide. That could allow Sky Schundelmeyer in here as well. Darren trying to go side by side with that of Machado. Now Schundelmeyer looking up the inside at turn 4. Darren Yo has to go a little wide again to allow Sky Schundelmeyer through, and Darren Yo dive bombed by Machado in a clean move, let's say, and loses out 2 places here, and he's now got Diz on the back of him.
Yeah, he's never similar colours cars to Machado's colours. I think.
Paul Williams just put him, by the way, early in the pit window, pitted when 9th. After all the pitted, you did well last night, Paul. Was very impressed. Gave you driver of the day, or one of us did, I think. Anyway, Jamal Clouden. Oh, Jamal just tapping the rear of Mike, and now McGowan's tapped the rear of Matt Wright. So Jamal tries to tap the rear, taps the rear of Max Mulder. He's flashing the lights to Max Mulder. Well, we jumped on board just as Clouden was sort of in the rear of the Ferrari, and then McGowan getting caught up by Clouden, and Max ended up in the ended up in the rear of Matt Wright.
Yeah. So. Still a long way to go, guys. So
still a long way to go, but just a few tickets you wonder maybe possibly coming in. Gary Leach on the back of McGowan now, and out front, look, overtake at only 1.5 at the minute.
Only 1.5, yeah, and Skunky's pulling away from Dan. That's nearly 2 seconds now.
Yeah, it is indeed. You just wonder how much Dan might be pushing, though, so trying to conserve them tyres to still be good at the end.
Yeah, because if he's not going to change tyres, you want to save them now.
You will indeed. O'Reilly had a bit of a moment coming through turn 4 as Ben's looking on the back of Mike, but can't find a way through at the moment. Mike's now on the back of O'Reilly as well, so Mike having a better showing here. Obviously had that stop go and that moment in race 1 coming through the S's, but so far race 2 it's going better, it's going good for him again. He's clearly had the pace here at Kyle Army.
Yeah, he's a bit wide on the curb then. I saw his Ferrari bounce a little bit with the lights.
Oh, got greedy on the curb again there. Just looked like it unsettled the car a little bit. And that's going to put Ben right up the rear end. Look, Ben's going to the outside of Ingui. And Mike gets it stopped, turns in. Easy as you like there for Mike Matthews. Good bit of racing from these boys so far.
Got in front of McGowan.
Has he now? So there they are. We've just gone to Clouden. There is Gary Leach. He's ahead of McGowan, so he's made the pass somewhere then, Phil. And Gary Leach, he likes this track, doesn't he? He likes his track.
He does. I don't wish for GT3 Ginetta was in the game.
Oh God, that's so old. Gary didn't even drive that on Project Cars.
It's like the BMW Z4, isn't it? GT3.
Yeah, Cadillac. The Cadillac was on there on Project Cars. What else did we have? We had the
Renault RS.
The Renault RS, which Gary did race in. Gary did do a season of that on Project Cars.
I might have to ride up Project Cars too, though.
Pedro Vienna. I think that was all the real sort of strange ones. Sky Schundelmeyer's having a look on the back of Machado. Darren Yo's dropped off the back of these two.
You have the McLaren MP4-12.
No, not in GT3. Are we talking Project Cars 1 or 2?
2.
2, you didn't have the McLaren MP. No, you just had the 650S. In GT3.
No, it might have been 1 then.
You had the Mercedes. What was the other Mercedes? Dean and Alfie drove it for a season.
The SLS.
The SLS, yeah. You had that one. Dean and Alfie drove it for a season. You had the SLS and the AMG. The M6, the Huracan, the Porsche with its endurance version, because you had the yellow lights. The Audi.
The V12s.
The V12 Asim, but we've got that on this. The Renault. Either way.
Skunky's getting a little closer again.
Oh, Patrick Lager there just breaks on the grass, has a moment, nearly spins in the path of Sky Schundelmeyer there, manages to keep it all together. Darren Yo, what's happened to him? He's had a moment, top of the hill at Ingui. He was with Diz, and Diz is on that inside. I think him and Diz have had a coming together. So Darren Yo has had a moment.
Back within a second. taker from Skunky.
So back within a second taker from Skunky. Dan's 2.3 behind, so Dan's not sort of sticking with them at the moment, but you don't know what Dan's preserving and what the fuel level of these two cars are.
Nope.
Do we at the minute? Just got to wait and see.
You just don't know at all yet until it all plays out after the pit stops.
Yeah, exactly. Matt
'cause
Wright.
That's when the race opens up.
Well, Matt Wright's going to have a bit of rear damage here from that tap from McGowan. But he's still keeping Wittrup honest at the moment, isn't he? He's having a look towards the inside of Sunset. It's just a look. Sort of opens the door for himself just a little bit. And then tucks back in.
Open.
Yeah, tucks back in behind just after. So nothing else there from Wittrup. Sorry, from Matt Wright on Wittrup.
Cloudon's in front of Max. It is very nice.
So Cloudon is in front. Matt Wright's now having a look. The outside up towards Ingui he comes. It's very patient at the moment, isn't it? Not a lot happening out there. It's very sort of follow the leader at the moment. But this is good racing, though. This is what we want to see.
Yeah, it's what we've seen. It's been quite clean. So
the odd tap here and there, but nothing too major.
Robin's racing, as I said in Toronto.
Right to the outside and inside. Machado's now with them. Behind them is Schundelmeyer, Vienna and Ledger. It is on the back of Eccles. Oh, he's tapped Eccles round. So Eccles had 2 taps now from 2 BMWs.
Probably going to think BMWs don't like him.
So Michael Eccles probably wondering what he's got to do. Well, that's 2 taps round he's had.
Yeah.
Ian McGowan gaining on the back of Gary once again. Gary's closed that gap down to Max Mulder as well. Jamal Cloudon's got past Harris now. Just about to say he's gained on Harris. We say, didn't we? We said last week, PM, this Mercedes gets stronger as the race goes on. And it's getting stronger again here.
He's in front of Harris. Cloudon is technically both as well with FBR Greasy Bandits window team with
Harris a part of FBR, isn't he? And Cloudon Greasy Bandits.
But it's also teammates with Diz, who is part of FBR.
Ben's gaining on Mike again. Mike's within 1 second, 1.1 of O'Reilly, so he's trying to get a bit closer to O'Reilly here. P5's good result for Mike. In fact, he's now under a second to O'Reilly is Mike Matthews. This is on board him. There's Kieran O'Reilly, and then there's looking back at Ben. Mike's having a good race, good second race.
He is, yeah. We've got until then you cursed him. He hit the curb of a cheater.
He's lost out to Ben. He's kept it out the wall, though, I do believe. I don't see any damage on that car. We'd literally just turned to Tommaso Cosmi there as he's getting close to McGowan, as you've said that.
Yeah, I was still on Mike, and he just clattered the race curb at the cheater and went for build a sandcastle for a little bit.
Well, you've got that work to do again to get on the back of Ben and build that gap to get on the back of O'Reilly as well. We're looking down at Cosmi in P12 at the minute. Gary's got the gap down to 1.3. He's also extended his gap to a McGowan. So Gary flying here at the moment. Skunky's back to 1.6 to overtake it. And Dan's at 2.6. Got about 10 minutes. Yeah.
I think Skunky's managing that gap, so... But again, is Skunky going to put fuel in, or is he not? Is he going to change tyres?
Well, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. We've got Schundelmeyer here, who is 15th place, right on the back of Machado as well.
This is a bit of a train going on here isn't it, between Machado. Well, actually, with
it is kind of Wittrup, well. But Wittrup's got that gap of 1.1 seconds to Machado. Machado's got Schundelmeyer and Ledger within that same gap. In fact, Wittrup's had a moment. No, not anymore. He's had that moment. And Schundelmeyer and Machado through. And Ledger's going to try and come through on him as well. Harris Geddix trying to stay within that second of Cloudon. This is Ledger who's going to try and come past Wittrup. Not yet, he can't. No, stays behind at the moment. So Mike's got to gain that 2 second. Harris is trying to stay with Jamal Clouden. And Gary Leach now 1.9. So he's lost a bit of time to Max Mulder. Although, who's that off in the background? It's McGowan off at the cheetah. So Cosme's through. Machado isn't, but McGowan losing a spot there. And Tommaso Cosme gets through.
For bitten by the cheetah. Oh, there's some defending going on between Machado. Is it Machado?
Yeah, it's Machado and Chundlemeyer.
Tom Scott.
Yeah. And also look at Ledger and Wittrup in the background there, also going at it. And Sky trying to go around the outside. It's a longer line, but if he could keep his nose here, Lafayette inside for the second bend. He has done, you know, look. What about turn 3 into 4? No, up and under. I think he just took too much curve there. You just see it not get the traction out the corner. And Machado carries on his way. Look at Ledger though. Ledger's got past Wittrup as well. Vienna will want a piece of that. Matt Wright and Blackmore coming back into this. Diz isn't too far behind. Neither's Daz. And then Sir catching up. Eckholt's trying to gain as well. And Daniel is obviously pitted earlier in this race. Gap from overtaker to Skunky, 2.5 seconds.
Yeah. Closest battle is this one for P13. Well, Clouden's nearly on the back of Mike.
Yeah, you're just wondering if it's taking Mike a little while to get that going. No, he's got the gap down to 1.7 as Mike, but Clouden, see, again though, Phil, we said it last week that Mercedes gets stronger as the hour race goes on.
Yeah, it does. Well, again, we don't know their fuel load, so we're not going to go in everyone's streams to look.
I'm not going to say who's on what because I don't want to give it away for other drivers in future races. But you know, we're 42 minutes in.
I tell you what, this one between Machado, Scrundermeyer, Ledger.
What McGowan? Is that McGowan on the front of these now? So they've gained. Somehow these two are battling, but picking up on cars here.
Yeah. Are they pushing each other along? I mean,
well, it seems to be because they kind of caught Wittrup, didn't they? Now they've caught onto the back of McGowan. Schundlemeyer's made Machado go defensive into turn 1. So they're just kind of slowly battling but working together, aren't they? And picking up cars one by one.
Then again, though, McGowan's been off the road at the cheetah, didn't he? So
he did. So yeah, like Mike, possibly trying to recover, you know, get the dirt off the tyres and get back going.
And with it cooler. It's just dropped to 16,
yeah.
By the way.
So it's already dropped that 1 degree. So already here, you know, they're already going to be starting to just feel the fact that it's dropped that 1 degree.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of twitching. Very twitchy cars coming here.
Schundlemeier doing exactly what he needs to do. He's not had the start to the season, but like we say, he's had 2 hurricanes in Florida that have hit it, have kind of disrupted the opening to his season, haven't they, with his practice and what he needs to do.
Yeah, they have. And same with Robert Smith.
Yeah.
Quark Daddy in Pro-Am as well. It's affected him. I think Jackal's found that way as well.
Jackal's that way, yeah. Jackal didn't race last week because he's that way as well. It depends on where they are in Florida because Robert Smith didn't seem to be hampered by the first race. Just depends on obviously where the Hurricanes go. We know the Hurricane kind of affected a lot of Florida more than the first one. But it's obviously affected Schundlemeier a little more. Wittrup and Vienna going side by side into the final corner. They exit as they were. But Vienna actually got the better exit. No, he didn't. It was just a camera angle lying to us at the moment. And Clouden's within half a second of Mike Matthews. In fact, that is even closer than half a second now. So Mike Matthews now going to start to feel the pressure here, is he, from Jamal Clouden, who is just getting quicker and quicker. But like you say, he is flashing. It's like, how many ways does... He's gone right, he's gone left, he's gone back right again. That's, you know, he's a couple of moves there from Clouden. Now, there's no rule against that on the attacking side. Mike stayed to his line. But Clouden looking racy, looking rather impatient at the moment, I have to say. But is he running light?
He must be running light.
It wasn't. He didn't have this pace in race 1, did he? No. You know, when everybody was running a similar fuel. So this has got to be him running lighter fuel.
Yeah, must be running lighter. As they go down the hill now. To be honest, well, it's all even. The gaps are even between the top 5, top 6 even.
The top 5 haven't really changed. Mike's obviously now on the back foot to Clouden. So he's now defending a little more. He's lost time to Ben. But, yeah, the top 5 kind of just are where they are. That was a bit of dirt kicked up. I wonder if that was from Ben just in front. Mike's starting now to just drive a little defensively, Phil.
Yeah. Now we're going to see if the Merc's got a lot more horsepower than the 296. Mike's defending.
Yeah, he is. He's already covered that inside line. Down the hill they come. Cloudon's got fully alongside. He's going to have some work to do to outbrake Mike round here. We know the Ferrari's decent on its brakes. Mike gets it stopped and turned in.
And parks it in front of Cloudon.
Yeah,
so...
exactly. Great driving from Mike. You just see, look, he's dropped to 3 seconds behind. Cloudon's going to look up the inside in towards turn 4. Mike gives him that wider berth. Does he get the exit? He has a little twitch. Does Mike Matthews on the exit of the corner? But here he goes down towards turn 5, looking for that run. In towards turn 5 he goes. Mike on that inside, Cloudon on the outside. If Cloudon can keep it there, he'll be on the inside for turn 6. Can't do so, and Mike covers the middle of the road off, and Michael Harris now come into play.
Yeah, because that'd be what Mike needs to do.
Oh, we've missed.
Cloudon. Sorry,
Phil, just noticing we've missed Schundelmeyer. He's got past Machado finally, but back to the Cloudon fight.
Yeah, well, Mike just parking the car where he needs to. He's full blown Platoing it, isn't he, on the apex?
Full on. Rob's Daytona area, so there we go. That's why he probably wasn't affected by Hurricane Helene, as Mike has a little slide on the exit of the corner, manages to keep it together. Helene obviously didn't kind of go Daytona way, so that helped Rob Smith a little bit for the first race. Mike's going to force Cloudon to the outside, you feel here. Early on the brakes. Get it parked in and turned. Through they all go. And this is brilliant. Let's go on to the back then of Mike Matthews. This is his view, looking at Cloudon and Harris behind. Look, you can just see there, Cloudon a little wide.
He also brushed the curb off the cheetah.
So that's probably what's put him a little bit wide here. This is now going to be hurting Cloudon and Harris's tyres, being stuck in that dirty air of these guys behind. This is going to help Gary Leach out in terms of getting on the pace of these two and getting towards the front. Dan Davis now 3.5 behind Skunky as Mike defends going into turn 1. Cloudon's going to try around the outside. We've seen Tibbs try this a couple of times on Machado. And he's now side by side with Mike, who just leaves him enough room, and no way through there for Jamal Cloudon. This is an epic fight between these three, because now Harris is fully involved.
Fully involved. If he could get his nose in as well. We know the straight line speed of the Lexus.
Into turn 5. Cloudon's now in a difficult position, isn't he, Phil? He's got to attack and defend. But what do? You've got to surely keep that pressure on Mike than watching what Harris is doing behind.
Yeah, but Harris would be the one who think, or is Mike going to try and back them both into Gary? Because
Gary's 3.9, so he's not made massive inroads at the minute. He's got to try and just up that pace a little bit as Gary. Pit window opens in a minute, just over a minute. So next lap for the majority of these drivers, it will be open for Daniel and probably Eckholt down at the back. The 112, is that Eckholt down the back? Yeah, it is. So probably be open for them boys, maybe even for Daz and Diz. Daz has got past Diz, I'm noting. Harris just dropping off the back as Cloudon there, nearly into the back of Mike as he has a massive wiggle under the braking, did Cloudon there, and nearly into the back of Mike Matthews. He is starting to push hard.
He's just touched the curb again, which you don't. He's flashing his lights. Why? Because Mike's defending hard. Mike's very tight.
I've seen nothing wrong with what Mike has done, but Cloudon's now through. Mike's now given him a flash of the lights. So what was that all about? Did Mike just let him through? I can't imagine Mike let him through. I didn't see anything wrong with it. And Mike now under immediate pressure from Harris coming into turn 1.
But Cloudon looking very impatient at times, to be honest.
Well, he looked. The only thing I saw wrong with it, Phil, was when he was a bit squirrely under the braking into the crocodile. I didn't see much wrong elsewhere from either driver.
Exactly, but how quickly is Cloudon going to catch the back of Ben, who's 7 seconds pretty much?
Cloudon has to be lighter on fuel. He surely has to be lighter because this Mercedes. And this is nothing to Cloudon. Cloudon's a fantastic driver. This Mercedes didn't have this pace race 1.
No. On similar fuel loads where you literally do just put the litre in. And the pit window is now open.
They've had to go an extra 5 minutes before the pit window opens in this race. But there's no way that he's done it. Daniel looked straight in. So pit window opens for him. He is straight in. This is going to be interesting to see who does come in.
Taker
staying out. Skunky is staying out. Dan Davis, I assume, is staying out. I can't see why Dan would be in just yet. He's still got a good clear road in front of him. O'Reilly's caught him slightly. Here comes Ben. He's also staying out. Oh, what's happened to Clouden? We've gone off them, and Clouden's behind Mike and Harris.
Has Clouden gone off the road?
Has to have. He's got damage. Has he got... No, sorry, I think it was the shadow. Yeah, I think it was the shadow on the front of his car. Gary Leach is in. He's gone for the undercut. Tommaso Cosmi stays out. Max stays out. Sky stays out. Machado in. McGowan stays out. Wittrup stays out. Vienna stays out. Matt Wright is in. Blackmore stays out.
Oh, Vienna just takes the back of Wittrup.
He waits this time for Wittrup. Yo also in. Daz stays out. What will Eckholt do? Daniel O in and out. He's managed to do his pit stop and go. Yes, he's a lap down, but he's managed to do his stop and go. I say stop and go. He's managed to do his pit stop and then carry on going. While Michael Harris, for Jamal Clouden, I'm at 6s and 7s as to why what's happened here.
No, did he go wide and just clip the grass and kick up the dirt? I'll go to the replay and have a look.
I've not seen Hypertech in the chat. He normally mentions what has happened every now and again. So Harris now trying to chase Mike, but he's also got that of Jamal Clouden just behind him by 7/10. Max Mulder's 3/10 off the back of Sky. So Sky's got past Max Mulder here. Sky's on a bit of a charge. Better showing from the Porsche of Sky. Tonight, Blackmore loses it on the curb. Into the wall he goes. That is coming up through the S's. That is big damage. Good job the pit window's open. He can get it out of the way. Gary is the lead pit runner. And he is just coming up to Blackmore now, who is rejoining. And will rejoin safely because Machado's nowhere near them. But yeah, have you managed to find what's happened, Phil?
I'm now on the lap of where it happened. So I'm now having a look to see what happened to Jamal.
Clouden's in. So Clouden straight into the pit lane then. Second lap of it being open here, straight in. Cosme stayed out, as has the top half of the field stayed out on track. Max Mulder now is under pressure from McGowan, and McGowan dives into the pit lane. So what about Wittrup and Vienna now?
Might get another twitch on that.
They both also stay out. Diz, I assume Blackmore's going to come in. He's got huge damage. What about Diz? Just want to point out, by the way, Daniel pitting early is 5 seconds off the back of Patrick Ledger.
He went. Clouden went wide up a hairpin.
There we go then.
So
Michael Harris.
We found out what happened.
Michael Harris within 2/10 of Mike Matthews. Daniel PN was nowhere near anybody, and he's now 5 seconds off the back of Patrick Ledger, who's only 20 seconds off the back of Matt Wright. So Daniel, even though he's pitted twice, by pitting when the pit window opened straight away, that's helped him out a massive amount.
Cool. Blackmore's got a lot of damage on his McLaren. Ooh.
Yeah, just said he'd gone into the wall.
Yeah, I just
picked up a big amount. Pedro Vienna's coming through now. He's trying to chase after Wittrup, but Overtaker still leads this race from that of Skunky. Gap 3.4 seconds. Dan to Skunky is also 3.4. Staying around the same gap are the top three. O'Reilly was catching Dan at one stage. He's dropped back a little bit now as well. As we head towards 31 minutes, we're just over 1:30 in the morning. Ben is in. It's next Mike Matthews who's next up for the pit stops. He's also going to come in. Michael Harris will stay out. So Mike Matthews enters the pits. Has he entered it at normal speed this time, Phil?
That is the question. I know it's hard to see the speed limit sign in the dark.
Max Mulder's coming in.
Max is in.
What about
Quiet night for Max.
Yeah, very quiet night. Wittrup and Vienna, they're both going to stay out on track. What about Diz? Gary's only there. Look in the background, 6 seconds behind Diz. As Blackmore still in the pits after that big damage he'll be repairing. Diz stays out. So Gary's getting closer to Diz. Gary going for that undercut. Has Gary managed to cane much on the back of Mike Matthews, who's now exiting the pit lane? There's Gary Leach. And Mike Matthews already off the limiter. Blackmore also out onto the track. Gary Leach will not be catching up to much of the back of Mike. But he has got back ahead of Max Mulder. And he's got ahead of Ben. So Gary's jumped Ben here. Interesting.
Good undercut so far for Gary.
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Mike's a couple of tenths off the back of Vienna and Wittrup. Couple of seconds, sorry, off the back of Vienna and Wittrup here. Who was that Mike was on the back of? That looks to be Diz and Blackmore then. Diz also nearly a... No, Diz hasn't pitted, apologies.
Diz hasn't pitted.
No,
yet.
Diz hasn't
No.
pitted. We're halfway through the race. Overtaker coming to the cheetah once again. He now decides he's going to pull the trigger and come into the pits. Dan started to catch Skunky this lap. Skunky pits. Dan is going to stay out. In fact, no, did Skunky pit?
Skunky's pitted. Yep.
Who's
he's
that in front of Dan then? That is probably Ledger. Dan stays out. O'Reilly stays out. What will Michael Harris do now he's had a clear road? Will he try and cover off Mike Matthews? No, he's going to go one more. What about Schundelmeyer, who's a little further back? So his back marker's in the way now. Dan Davis will be wanting to clear that back marker as quickly and safely as possible. Schundelmeyer coming in.
It's now this battle of the Beamers.
Which is a quiet battle.
A quiet battle here.
Which up in.
Which
Vienna
up in.
stays out. What about Diz? He's got Mike Matthews gaining on him. Diz is going to stay out.
Skunky's stop is done.
Matt Wright,
does he-
by the way, is all over the back of Eckholt for 19th and 20th.
Yeah, as
Skunky's jumped
Skunky-
Taker.
Taker's
So-
not pit.
Yeah.
Taker was fuel.
Overtaker's had a long pit stop. He's been jumped by Mike Matthews as well.
And
Not going to be
Not
Gary
quite
Leach. No,
Gary.
not quite Gary Leach, but he's closer to Gary Leach. So Overtaker has lost out to Skunky and to Mike Matthews here then.
and Gary's tyres are warm.
Gary's tyres will already be up to temperature, yeah.
And
So-
that makes a hell of a difference.
That's going to be huge. Huge for Gary. So Gary pitting early, clearly the way to go. Overtaker having that longer stop, just hasn't been able to do it. Did Dan clear the back of the lapped car of Ledger? No, he hasn't.
No,
He isn't
Ledger's
actually.
pulling
Yeah,
away.
Ledger's actually pulled away. So Dan
He's-
clearly happy with his
Dan's got
pace
a-
at the minute. Dan's in.
Pit now. Dan's in. Yeah, does O'Reilly follow
O'Reilly, yeah,
him?
O'Reilly's followed in. These two, I think, are going to jump Overtaker
Yeah, I do. because,
massively.
Push maybe Harris as well, because he was in that.
He was
battle
around
with
Mike, wasn't he? Yeah, Gary was a little further off the back of Harris and Mike.
Harris
Yeah,
is
I
in.
think Harris could also jump them.
Cosby stays out for one more lap. Be the final lap before we
Overtakers, yeah, it will be, as for Vienna and Diz. So Cosme takes the lead. Dan's done, O'Reilly's done. Harris not yet done.
Yeah.
Dan and O'Reilly's already out. Where's Skunky? Coming down the start line. Dan and O'Reilly, 1 and 2. Thank you, Mama, for the carrots. Great pit stop, great strategy. Easy done.
Yep.
Skunky sitting P3. Harris still not done yet, so Harris is having a long stop. He's now away, but I think Harris is going to be jumped by Gary Leach here.
Where,
There they go. There's Harris
Yeah.
coming out the pits. There goes Gary and Overtaker. So they have jumped him. So Harris has had a long one. And look at Overtaker. Look, so he's lost out to Dan, O'Reilly, Skunky, Mike Matthews.
and that's a lot of cars to overtake. Get close to.
Yeah, but he's not even close to Mike yet, is he? What is he? He's
No.
6/10 off the back of... Oh, no, that's his time to Harris. You know, we've got to
That's
see
his
what his
time to
time
Harris.
is to Mike through Sector 1, which are coming up to now. He's 2.9 off the back of Mike. And we've already seen Mike is not the easiest car to get past tonight. Ben... Sorry, go on.
Mike has been Platoing a few people, haven't he?
He has.
So-
He has indeed. Ben, I don't know what's happened to his strategy, but he's on the back of Machado and Wittrup. So something's gone wrong for him. Blackmore's down in 23rd. Daniel 22nd. Patrick Ledger is 21st. Matt Wright's in 20th. So points in store. Vienna and Cosme yet to pick. Cosme's coming round towards the cheetah now. Vienna's
he should dive straight.
yeah,
in.
he's
he
straight
does.
in. Where is Vienna?
Vienna is
He's
now.
at the Crocodile, so he should just have enough time to come. Vienna and Wittrup. This is going to be an interesting one to see where Vienna comes out in terms of Wittrup, because they was, bumper to bumper, wasn't they?
Yeah, they were touching each other.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, he
Go
was
to the-
he was stationary, gone past the limit line. He wouldn't take any chances of getting a time penalty.
So Wittrup's coming through this quartet now of McGowan, Machado, Ben and Wittrup. And Vienna is up and... he's not up and down. Cosme's out the pits, by the way. Overtaker has just passed Cosme. Gary will not get past him. Pit window's closed. Vienna's now away. Here comes Machado. There comes Wittrup. Watch for Vienna's pit coming off the screen.
Yeah.
It comes off now, but Wittrup will be well in front. Where's Diz? Not close enough. But Wittrup will be further in front of Vienna than what it was before the pit stops.
Phew. And that's how it all plays out. I hope people putting fuel in.
Well, this is the strategy, isn't it? And if you can't pull away and get that gap, this strategy will hurt you.
Exactly. So you might as well run the car with all the fuel and just...
Well, it's race dependent, isn't it? But, you know,
somewhere like Spa, you wouldn't want to have a fuel stop. Add that much fuel.
You'd want as little,
pit lane.
But
That
at the
pit
same
lane,
time,
you
with
lose
how
so
long the
much.
lap is, depending on what the conditions are, the tyre change may help you at somewhere like Spa. With it being
especially if it's
cooler,
raining.
but with it being this time of year, you know, you're probably not changing tyres at Spa.
No,
You know,
and
so
it'll probably be wet anyway, to be honest.
yeah, brutally honest, yeah. We're watching the battle of Machado on the back of McGowan by a couple of tenths. He's got Ben and Wittrup with him. But we're keeping our eyes on the overtaker to Mike Matthews. It's still 2.7. Overtaker's cleared Gary Leach. Gary Leach did get ahead of Cosme, though. That gap is 0.4 of a second. There
Oh,
is
Gary was sideways.
Oh, just as we've got onto him there then, so Cosme's going to look around the outside, the final corner. Gary's not going to let that one go, but we're back to Machado and Ben at the moment. 23 and a half minutes left on the clock. Machado just dropping a wheel onto the grass and gravel. It's going to make them tyres dirty. Darren Yo's down in 18th, 2 seconds off the back of Schundelmeyer. But that's progression because he was, you know, down in the 20s before the pit stops. The pit stop certainly helped out Ben trying to go to the outside of Ricciardo. Not going to work there. Cosme trying everything he can to get past Gary. And Overtaker's made 2 tenths on Mike at the start line. He's made then 6 tenths through sector 1. But, you know, Mike's then 11 seconds behind Skunky.
Yeah.
You know, so that's like 13, 14 seconds. And we saw O'Reilly last night. Richie Michelle last night. 12 seconds to John Gooday. But that's when he was 2 seconds a lap quicker.
But if they're only like tenths of a second quicker, it won't happen.
I don't think it'll happen to Skunky anyway, to be fair. That's 14 seconds in 22 minutes. You know, the best overtaker I think is going to get out of this race is a P4, because Mike, you know, let's be honest, Richie Michelle then got past Burrabex, who had two or three laps. He then cleared Gooday because Gooday made a mistake and was possibly just overdriving the car slightly. Mike will just defend and defend and defend against the Mustang.
Yeah, he will. Mike will park it on every apex if he has to.
Max Mulder under pressure from Jamal Clouden. Clouden's down in 10th place after the pit stop, so he got jumped by Gary Leach as well. And there's that quartet in the background. Clouden nearly pushing Max through the cheater there. Max just drops a wheel onto the grass. Clouden now to the outside of Max Mulder, trying to get the up and under and getting the cut back, and he gets it, an absolute peach. He's alongside Max Mulder, and down the start line they come now. Max looks like he's got a bit of damage on that car, actually, on that inside of it. Clouden's got just enough grunt to get past him. He has the inside line, and that is as easy as you like for Jamal Clouden. Great move.
Yeah, past Max. But that's probably the most action Max has seen since the race started.
Just a quiet night for Max tonight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Ben's got past Machado, went round the outside, managed to get the inside done for turn 2. Now Wittrup's having a look on Machado, and Wittrup just went a little wide there. Don't know if there was any contact made. Schundelmeyer's on the back of Diz. Darren Yo's 3.9 off the back, so he's just struggling at the moment. As Max Mulder trying to get back on them. Cosme is really on the back of Gary Leach now, and also Overtaker only gained another 4 tenths in a lap over Mike Matthews. They're not yet at sector 2, so it was 1.9 after sector 1 last time. It's now 1.5. It's not enough, PM.
It's not enough. Well, 20 minutes.
Not to catch Skunky.
Not to catch Skunky, and it's gone up to 1.6 again. So Mike's
there you go.
Better
in sector 2. Cosme, by the way, side by side with Gary Leach, had a bit of a wiggle coming out of Ingui. Gary manages to stay in front for the time being. They've got Harris coming after them as well. Harris been in the thick of some battles, but not been able to get past anybody.
Well, this track is quite hard to overtake on because it's still quite old school. Because when they came back here for F1 in '92 and '93, One race won by Mansell, the other up by Prost. Both in Williams's. You know, when Williams used to win things. That was a long time ago now.
O'Reilly's just over a second to Dan, so he's going to put the heat on Dan. Dan, again, for a second race too. Cosme last week in the Aston Martin. O'Reilly this week in the Aston Martin, trying to put him under pressure. Skunky's had a cracking night though, hasn't he? Skunky P3 at the minute.
Yeah.
Race winner, pole position. Great night for Skunky at the minute.
He had fastest lap in race 1, didn't he, as well?
He did, yeah. He did, yeah. No, Ledger did. Ledger did.
Ledger got up in the end.
But a good night
So
nonetheless
far,
for him.
Yeah. Obviously, these cooler conditions that aren't suiting that Ferrari as much. Overtaker's within a second of Mike.
He is within a second of Mike, and Gary trying to defend then from Cosme still. We'll just flick to Mike. Overtaker's not close enough just yet. Cosme's on the back of Gary. He's got Harris also chasing him down. This is up towards Ingui now. To the outside. Mike's normally quicker through sector 2 though. Gap's down to 7/10, so Overtaker's got a little bit closer. But look at this trio. Harris trying to tuck underneath that of Cosme, who's on the grass, coming out the exit of Ingui. That's going to hurt his run. That's going to put to bed anything with Gary Leach. We'll drop to Mike Matthews now, then, who's got Overtaker on the back of him. And this could really be for a good, top 5 for Mike. Overtaker had that fantastic first week of the season at Bathurst with a first and a second.
Yep. Last week, not so much a good week.
No. More down to a few glitches here and there. Mike's got Overtaker on the outside, and Overtaker's going to try and go right round the outside. Can't do so, though. Mike keeps it on the apex, although Overtaker looks like he's up the inside. Oh, he is through. Pretty easy then. So Mike would put up this really strong defence and hasn't really. So Taker's got past Mike Matthews. Mike's going to have to try and come back at Overtaker now. Back to the Gary Leach fight then with Cosme and Michael Harris.
Mike's having a look. You keep an eye on that one. I'll keep an eye on the Overtaker Mike battle.
Yeah, no problem. Let me know if anything's happening or developing in that one then.
I think Mike's just turned on the heat again. He's just trying to get back in front of Taker. Source pipes glowing in the dark.
I can only think really of 3 drivers who've had a good double race. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put down. There's only 2 drivers, sorry. So let's put.
Definitely Skunky is on there. As Chris as well, go Ben go. Ben's P10, so he's stuck in front of Max.
He passed Max a while back. No, he passed Machado a while back, so he has got ahead of Max again. Ben again being the quickest of the BSP boys tonight. And Cosme here just cannot find a way.
Cut at the curb, at the crocodile, at the cheetah. That's that battle done.
Yeah, we heard it in the gravel as we was on board Cosme and Gary Leach. Oh, Gary's just clipped the curb slightly. 16 minutes left to go in this race. O'Reilly's within a second of Dam. Overtaker 12.8 to Skunky.
Yeah.
In 16 minutes.
That's gonna be a tough ask, isn't it?
Well, I'm just going to have a look. What was the laps last night that we did? How many laps was it last night in race 2? 35? I think 35 as they crossed the line at the end, wasn't it?
Something like that,
Let's
yeah.
have a
So it's
quick
now
look.
7/10 of the lead. O'Reilly behind Dan.
7/10. You keep your eyes on that a second, Phil. We're carrying on watching this Gary, Cosme and Harris fight. I'm just going to find out how many laps it was last night in race 2. And it was 35. So it's obviously 34 racing lap. They start the 35th, which is the end lap. So we're into the last 9 or 10 laps, let's say. So, he's got to go at a second a lap. Just over a second a lap as Overtaker. That's a big, big ask.
And as Murray Walker once said, catching's one thing, passing's another.
Completely. We're going down in 14th. Scott Vienna 4/10 off the back of him. Darren Yost getting closer to the back of Diz now after Schundelmeyer's got past him. And Kieran O'Reilly still 9/10 behind that of Dan Davis. As Michael Harris still gaining on the back of Tommaso Cosme. What a race, what a night, what a fight.
I keep wanting to call him Tommaso Ciampa, the WWE wrestler. I think Dan and O'Reilly are about to go through the next sector. So we'll get another live update of the gap between them.
Yeah, they're coming up just now. And O'Reilly's
8
brought it
tenths.
down another 10th here. So O'Reilly's definitely on the charge. He got the race 1 win due to the reverse grid last week, didn't he? And he'll be looking for another good result. And the thing for O'Reilly is his drop score's already 0 because he was already signed up and in for Bathurst. Just couldn't make that week. So unlike other drivers whose drop score was weak, their drop score might be this week.
Well, Overtakers was last week, wasn't it? So,
Yeah, but I'm talking for like new drivers like Eckholt signed up last week.
Eckholt.
One of these is going to be his drop score. Drivers who's new didn't necessarily get week 1 as their drop round. O'Reilly did. So O'Reilly getting that reverse grid race win last week, brilliant. This is now a race to outright race win based on qualifying and race alone.
Yeah, and there's 7 temps.
Just want to point out, this is for 6th for Gary and 5th for Mike at the moment. Imagine if they didn't have their stop-go penalties in the first race.
I know.
Could have been such a good night.
Yeah, they could have been on that pole for driver of the day.
Yeah, 100%. As we're currently coming down the mine shaft on board with Cosme, then looking back to Harris. There's Gary Leach's view, looking back to Cosme. And Gary's a tough defender. He's a tough character to get past. He knows all the tricks in the book, does Gary Leach. He's been around a long time.
Well, yeah. Take this.
Big off for Ben, apparently. He's now had Clouden go past him. And has got... Machado's not close enough, but Clouden's got through, I believe. But Chris has just said that Ben's had a big off.
8 temps. So this is part of the track where Dan's Lexus is slightly better than the Aston.
Also, Overtaker was still 12 seconds, 11 seconds to Skunky, 11.2.
11.2 now.
It's not enough, is it? It's not enough.
No, you need to be second and a half of that quicker.
Well, it's getting that gap's obviously getting more and more. It's nearly a second a minute, and it's nearly 2 minutes a lap here. So,
yeah,
big ask at the moment.
Running out of time rapidly. Meanwhile, defender of the this race, Gary, so far.
I don't know. Mike might want to shout out for that for his defensive drive against Clouden earlier on. This is looking on board though with O'Reilly. Just see that Lexus starting to get a little bit bigger. This is going to be a good fight. This is a fight I was looking forward to. We saw O'Reilly. He got the Ford Mustang's first ever win last season at Valencia. Raced really well and took race wins in the GT4s, didn't he, at the back end of last season. Last week, wins the first race. Yes, whatever you can say about the reverse grid, but he won the race. Now he's doing it again, and he's taking on the 9-time champ, Dan Davis. You want to win a race and beat somebody on the circuit for the race win? This is probably the guy with all the accolades, isn't it? Most race wins, most pole positions, most podiums, most championships. That's the man to be.
Yeah. 10.8 gap between Skunky and Taker. It's not enough.
Well, lap 28, which I believe is going to be the last lap, will be 34. They'll start the 35th as they cross the line to end it. So what, 28? That's another 2 laps to 30, plus another 4. There's about 6-7 laps left, isn't there?
Meanwhile, back for P17-18. Daz is right on the back of Diz.
I had a ding-dong earlier. There we go. Daz taps Diz round. Daz waits for Diz. And he's going to let Diz get going. And that's going to bring Matt White right into the action. You see what I did there?
Yeah. He's right in it, isn't he?
Well done. Well done. Cosme and Harris have lost out to Clouden.
Have they touched, maybe?
Possibly so, but this has allowed Gary to... Gary's got away, and they fell into Clouden's grasp. So, interesting. O'Reilly's within half a second. I'm going to go back to the leader, or the lead fight. Skunky's only 2.9. Oh, this is about to heat up. 2.9 Skunky to Dan Davis. These two could start fighting soon, could O'Reilly and Dan. This is about to get hot.
How hot? So hot.
2.5.
There, Cosme was behind Harris, so Harris got in front of Cosme.
2.5 is now the gap, Phil, after one sector. So Skunky looking for a double win and the pole position.
Yep.
Overtaker's 10.4 behind, so he's too far back.
Harris went wide,
Yep.
and then Cosme went wide, and Clouden just went, thank you, mama, for the carrots, and got both of them.
Fair enough. O'Reilly's just had a big wiggle off the curb. There was a lot of dirt in Ben's screen, so I assume that's from Cosme and Harris. Did wonder what happened. So there we go. So that's what Chris is saying in the chat. There was a lot of dirt from them both going off. Kieran O'Reilly's just had a bit of a wiggle. Skunky's took another 4/10 out of O'Reilly in that first sector.
His Ferrari's just starting to come alive right now. Unless he's just... right, max
But again, the difference for Skunky to O'Reilly from Overtaker to Skunky is 2 seconds. He still needs less than a second a lap.
Yeah.
You know, he's 2.9 from Dan. So at the minute, he's going all right. It's 2 seconds now. That's another 10th in the middle sector for Skunky. So Skunky's coming. O'Reilly's just dropped to over a second. Let's go back down to Jamal Clouden. He's got Cosme still with him, 8/10. We'll also go down to this of Wittrup, who's on the back of Max Mulder. Max Mulder just seems to be losing places left, right and centre at the moment. You've got Vienna and McGowan having a little scrap. They've got Schundelmeyer not far from them. Then Darren Yeo trying to defend from Matt Wright and attack the back of Diz. But this fight for the lead, 1 second for Kieran O'Reilly, back up to 2.1, so Skunky loses a 10th in that final sector.
Yeah, ebbing and flowing is a...
I tell you what a night, what a week of racing here at SimPlay Motorsport. Been absolutely fantastic. If you do enjoy the action, please leave a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are new, as well as hitting that bell to be notified. We will be back live with GT4s next week from Laguna Seca. Dan Davies will be bringing you all the action at 8 PM GMT +1. Myself and Dan will be back for all the action next week at Laguna Seca, and then myself and Phil will be back next week for Laguna Seca in the pros, all 8 PM GMT +1. That's going to slowly change, which I think is the weekend after, so that'll be the last GMT +1 race, and then it'll be the Monza race where it's not GMT +1. As now O'Reilly back within 7/10, but 2.6 off the back is clear as Skunky, so Skunky's just lost a bit this lap.
Yeah, and then it's 9.8 to Taker.
Yeah, Taker's done. That's P4 for him. That is P4 for him. Again, 2 races he's led, and 2 races he's lost the race win due to a longer pit stop. Bathurst and here, race 2.
As 4 or 5/10 to the lead.
Yep, and Skunky pulled another 3/10 back that lap as well, that sector. This could get juicy, PM. This could get juicy.
With 3/4 minutes left of the race. Yeah. Oh, I hope you're all sitting down and ready for this.
Skunky's just getting another couple of tenths in the final sector there, Phil, as well. And he's 2.6 off the back of Dan.
Ben's on the back of Harris.
We'll go down to watch that a second for the time being. There is Ben on Harris. So Harris, clearly since having his off, just hasn't found his feet.
Ben is really close to Harris.
Yeah, wasn't he just? Ben's impressing me. He seems to be getting better every time we see Ben at the moment.
Yep. He's still got what we don't have anymore, Matt.
Youth. Yeah. Sky Schulmeyer's another youth is on the back of Pedro Vienna. Let's go back to leaders. That gap is now 7/10. So Dan's just opened it up through the first sector here. And Skunky's still 2 seconds.
Sky's having a look. And he's through.
So Schundelmeyer through on Vienna, who's back on the rear of Wittrup as well, by the way. So that fight's resuming. And Ben on the back of Harris, still not through just yet. Oh, Harris just dropping a wheel onto the gravel. There, Ben's going to try around the outside. Hip and shoulder off the road goes Ben. Back on he comes. Dan's got the gap up to 8/10. Skunky back to 2.9. So Skunky, at the moment, losing out, as is O'Reilly. Has Dan just got enough in the tank here?
Yeah, with, about 3 laps to go?
Yeah, I think so. 140 a lap, 142 a lap. So that's 142. Exactly 5 minutes is across the line. So that's 3 minutes 26. Yeah, there's 3 laps. 3 laps left in this race.
Yep.
Because Dan's not going to be able to lift off and save his last lap. He's got to keep pushing. Because that second, if he starts to lift off to that time ago, it's going to be curtains for him.
Meanwhile, we've got another Gary train foreman with Clouden and Cosme.
Yeah, Clouden and Cosme. And that's not going to help Harris because Harris is being pressurised by Ben. No end here. Sky Schundelmeyer within 2/10 of Wittstrup. Darren Yeo still not past Diz yet. He's still got Matt Wright with him. Ledger's trying to get on the back of Eckel. Ben to the outside of Harris. Nothing can be done there. Skunky's over 3 seconds behind O'Reilly now, so I think he's just pushed a little too hard. There's Dan Davis. There's O'Reilly. It's 7/10. O'Reilly is getting closer. But again, it ebbs and flows so much. And Dan's doing just enough. There's a back marker as well. I think that's Daniel, the back marker just in front. So he's going to be starting to pick up the blue flags as well, Phil.
Yeah.
Still 7/10. And Skunky is now 3.7. So Skunky's done. He will not be able to get anything in this race, barring a disaster. Overtaker's down 6.7, so Skunky will just want to bring this home. Gary Leach, though, has got Jamal all over the back of him. Jamal flashing his lights again here. Yeah, fancies a good flash tonight, does Clouden. He's as bad as someone we know.
Yes, Matt.
Don't know what you mean.
That's all I'm saying.
Don't know what you mean. Jamal Clouden trying to get the rundown on Gary Leach. Cosme is still with him. Ben's just dropped off the back of Harris just a little bit. That gap 0.6 of a second. And look at Clouden trying to sling the car out behind Gary. Ben's back within 2/10 now.
Replace that car wherever it needs to be.
You will indeed. Ben looking for the undercut. Can't get it. Oh, Cosme having a lunge on Clouden. Yeah, Cosme had a great lunge here. And that's a fantastic move from Tommaso Cosme. Gets past Clouden. But now Clouden's trying to come back at him with the grunt of the Mercedes-Benz. And this is going to help Gary Leach out.
Yeah, they're technically the same engine. The Aston Martin V8 is the same as that Merc V8.
Monkey Boy asking if I've been teaching him. The answer's no. But I can only assume that your ways have rubbed off on him. I wanted to speak with you last night and you left the party. I was hoping to have a quick chat with you. What a move from Tommaso Cosme, though. Great move there. Ben and Harris are still going at it. Max Mulder is trying to defend from Sebastian Wittstrup, who's been tapped. No, Machado's been tapped by Wittstrup. McGowan's going to go through. That's not Machado, sorry. That's Vienna, who is facing the wrong way. Schundelmeyer's gone through. Here comes Diz and Daz. Oh, that's a team name. Oh, Diz and Daz. Back to Tommaso Cosme, though. Gary Leach has a bit of breathing space. Skunky 4.5 off the back now. Dan's going to start the final lap any moment now. He's got O'Reilly 0.6. That's still close on this final lap.
Tried to break the toe then with one little move. With one move.
Let's watch it. Let's watch his final lap, because this is going to be crucial to the end. Dan Davis versus Kieran O'Reilly for one last lap. What a drive this has been from both of them.
What a strategy by Dan again.
Well, by both of them. They pitted together, came out together. They was running 3rd and 4th in this race. Jumped both Overtaker and Skunky in the pits. Absolutely fantastic.
It just shows that why Dan's a 9-time champion.
Yeah. All I'm going to say, Monkey Boy, by the way, Kieran Argent. That's all I'm going to say. As we get to the end of this race, 0.6 per second. I think Dan's got enough to cover this. You keep your eyes on Cosme and Clouden, because they're on the back of Gary. As Dan Davis looks to win his 4th race of the season.
Clouden's looking around the other side of Cosme.
This could be interesting here between them two. We will obviously jump to them as soon as we can. Dan Davis down the mine shaft. 0.6 of a second. He's got 3 corners to go into the crocodile. O'Reilly is a little bit closer once again. but he's not going to be close enough into the Crocodile. You'd hate to get it wrong on the last lap. Dan gets it absolutely nailed. He's got the final corner to go before he's going to be jubilation again. A 4-time race winner this season. Dan Davis is going to come to the line and win round 6 of the season. Kieran O'Reilly in second place. What a job. Skunky will take P3. That is absolutely fantastic from him. Overtaker strategy again costing him in this race, but he comes home for a solid P4. Mike Matthews, what a drive from this man. That'll be P5, an excellent result considering he has P5 at the first race of Mizzano on the reverse grid. And then we're not going to see Mike cross the line. We want to watch this battle till the very end. Has Gary Leach just done enough for P6? Clouden wide. Cosby's not been able to do it. Gary Leach exits the final corner. Oh, Cloudon's ran deep and pushed Cosby. Cosby a little wide. Gary Leach will take 6th. And Cloudon's going to take 7th from Cosby. I reckon that could be a ticket, though, going in.
Yep. Harris holds off Ben in the end.
Harris does hold off Ben for a good result for P9 and P8. No, P9. What happened to Ben? Machado got Ben.
Machado got him. So
not sure what happened to Ben there. Max Mulder 12th, Ian McGowan 13th, Witchrup 14th, Schundelmeyer 15th, Daniel down in 22nd. Diz is going to come across the line now to finish in P16. Darren Yo down in 17th place from Matt Wright. And then it will be Pedro Viana. And we just await for Michael Eckholt, who's going to come across for 20th. Patrick Lager, 21st.
Where is Lager? He was right behind him in the last sector.
He must have had a moment.
That looked like fuel.
It does look like fuel. Blackmore, 23rd. Where did Matt Wright finish in this one? That was 18th for him. Ian McGowan crossed the line, P13. We've then got Ben, who was 11th. Schundelmeyer was down in 15th place. Darren Yo was 17th, just filling in the screens that we need to fill in. Wichtrup was 14th. Max Mulder was 12th. Not a quiet night for Max Mulder. Michael Harris came across the line, P9. Pedro Viana 19th, and Machado 10th place. Right, let's head into the Discord and get a few interviews.
Gone to the Discord, Dan.
Green light, go, go, go.